Hey, I'm Nayashe.
I'm Rezlar.
And I'm Frosty. Welcome back to the Value Pack.
Hold on, I have to gear check Nayashe right now. Alright, that is some bullshit. Dude, he CC'd me how to dance. What's happening? Rezlar!
People look at you like you're crazy, and they refuse to admit that it's pay to win, and just scream that it's pay to convenience! It's pay to convenience!
Big money, big money, big money,
Big
money!
money!
Oh shit, we got it! We fucking got it!
And welcome everybody to another episode of the Value Pack. Not a lot of topics today. However, this might be the first positive episode in months, question mark? Is it? I feel like it's been nothing but negativity lately.
It has been. Well, yeah. No, it really has been. But even still, even with all the negativity, I spent, an hour and a half the last 2 weeks just complaining about BDO stuff, only for the comments to be like, Frosty just defends BDO too much.
True, very true. And even today, I do still, listen, I get paid to complain on this show. So even though today is a joyous occasion, and it's going to be the first positive show we've had in months, I do still have some things. So, before we get into any of that, gotta thank our lovely patrons, Garmoth.com, Hawaiian, Melt on Your Mouth, Minaria, and Slytech. Thanks you guys and everybody else who supports us on Patreon, and all our Twitch subscribers as well. So really the only topic of today, Frosty, you didn't even really need to write up a list. It's really just changes to the Arena of Solare. Specifically, they came out with Equalized Gear, which is interesting.
Yeah. So, again, I told you when I first read the initial release of Arena Solare, I thought it was equalized. Like the stat line that they showed, I thought meant, because I didn't see the translated version, so I thought it meant like this is what everyone's stats are going to be. And then the next day I was kind of disappointed. So this time I was like, all right, let me reread this again, because I just want to make sure I'm understanding this. I think what they're saying is, and I just like went through like 2 or 3 times. I'm like, oh my God. And then I like shared it in different Discords. I'm like, is this saying equalized? Is that how you guys are reading this? I feel like it's saying equalized, but I'm not 100% sure. And I feel like it can't possibly be saying that everyone has access to the same equipment. There's no way.
Yeah.
But it looks to be that way, at least until enough really geared players complain and get it changed. So
yeah, exactly.
So I don't know how do we go through this? Should I read the blue text? Isn't translated most likely because they never do that on Black Desert Foundry. But at least maybe we'll get a gist of it. It always just feels weird going through and reading like the weird broken sentences. I'm not sure kind of how to read this. But
I think reading the blue text is good. Just okay. we need to be understanding that the blue text is not always 100% accurate to what they're trying to say.
Right. Okay, so here's what the blue text says. Arena Solare. The contents of Solare's arena in Black Desert Research Lab are being improved every week based on the feedback of adventurers who have experienced the arena firsthand. First of all, the party system was improved to make the identification of the enemy clearer. Thank God. Easier to see enemies. That's a good thing. Super good thing. Clearer distinction and communication with the team members, and the voice chat function was added to use voice chat function in Solare's arena, which is interesting. And if you stream,
please, God, no!
And if you, horrible. I think it's only amongst your team, but is it going to be horrible? I feel like you all loved it in New World.
Don't you have to opt into that though?
You probably have to.
Wait! I'm sorry. Maybe I misunderstood it. It's like New Worlds.
No, it's like the one that we have right now.
Oh, I thought. Game. Well, I thought Frosty said it was like New Worlds.
Well, I mean, it's like
proximity.
No, I just said. No, you're just in a small arena. It would just be to communicate with your team. It's just to communicate with your team.
Okay, so if it's just, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, in New World, you liked being able to talk to people. That's all I meant. Not that it's like New World.
Yeah.
But I would keep this off personally, probably.
I read into too much
I
of what you said.
would keep it off as well. Although I would like to point out that this completely solves that whole thing about communication with teammates being.
Oh, it definitely completely solves it. True.
Just
We'll
saying.
get into that later.
Depends on
That's
the quality of it,
laughable.
but yeah.
That's laughable. But yeah, for sure. In addition, I'd like to talk more about development direction. First, I'd like to explain that stat caps that you are most interested in. In fact, this is the part we had the most trouble with. yeah, you did.
Yeah, really.
It is because the pros and cons are so clearly defined that MMORPG stat caps we plan to develop in a form of a kind of sport so that more people can enjoy it, and skill and teamwork are much more important than equipment in this direction by making this direction more firm. Accordingly, in the case of stat caps, they have this highlighted in all red on Black Desert Foundry, so I guess they translated this sentence. Accordingly, in the case of the stat caps, we would like to add dedicated arena equipment instead rather than the current stat caps. In fact, it was not that we didn't consider the dedicated equipment from the beginning, but it was more that changing your equipment every time would be annoying, which is true. After looking for a better way of doing this, Book of Coordination, we developed an equipment storage window called the Tome of Sussification. What does that word even mean? I'm just kidding. I made that up. Storage window for the equalized gear, and it is possible to select the gear in the separate space. Therefore, adventurers can use the equipment when they enter Arena Solare they have set in their settings. So it sounds like you're setting this up similar to the Book of Coordination, and it's just going to be that setup, and you could change it anytime you want, but when you go in, like, that's the setup that you're just always going to have when you go into Arena, whatever you have chosen.
So it looks like maybe, first of all, it's just Among Us memes, but I'm looking through all of this, and it looks like it's maybe to organize and systemize, or to diffuse and unconfuse.
Perfect.
To make the world of work a simpler, easier place, possibly.
Hell yeah. All right, so in their demo shot here, and this is the thing I'm really curious about, is like what grade level is every single piece of equipment you're going to be able to choose from, and what are all the pieces? Because you don't actually see that much here. But in the case of the gear that's in his window, for those radio listeners at home, he's wearing a full set of Pen Blackstar armors in this demo screen, 2 Tungrad earrings, or also known as red nose earrings. They're both at Tet. 2 red nose rings, which are crescent rings, at Pen. He has 2 artifacts. It really could be any artifact. I don't know. He's wearing a Tet Turos belt, 2 Tet Blackstar weapons, and a Pen Nuver, and a Pen Ogre ring. And on the right side of his gear window, you see sort of like a scroll menu that looks like you could go down through each gear piece. The top one is your main hand, second one is your offhand, third one is your awakening, fourth one shows like an armor icon, but it doesn't show what's underneath that. And it looks like you choose. There's some that are locked, some that are unlocked. You choose the weapon, and then the crystals that go in the weapon, and then the next you choose the offhand and the weapon that goes in the or the crystals that go in the offhand. I think these are stock images, right, Rez? Because it's just showing swords for every single row. So my guess is that this is just like a demo or a sample screenshot, but you'll actually see normal gear in there. Yeah, and then so on and so forth. I imagine down with the armors, it's the same thing. So my only real question for this setup is, what are the stats, and like what are the ranges of stats we'll be able to choose? So let me finish reading the blue things, and then we'll kind of give our guesstimates on that stuff. So some settings, including corrections, are subject to change. The settings are being developed as shown in the image above. It is a structure that can be set freely in a separate window, not in your inventory window or storage. It wasn't really an easy task, but considering the future, we decided that it was a necessary system to develop, so we hope for your support. Dedicated equipment is being developed in a way that starts with the basics, and more equipment options unlock as your rank goes up as you progress through Solare's arena, which I think is interesting. There's an idea to unlock more equipment depending on the character's workshop combination value and not necessarily the rank. We are considering the options to unlocking gear in various ways. However, the equipment that is unlocked does not improve in performance, but allows you more customization. As many adventurers have commented, Solare's arena is going to balance so that they can clash more with each other. At first, we thought about 3 battlefields. We added various strategic gimmicks without affecting the original pleasure of PvP to make it more enjoyable. We'll focus on improving the work to the end. We'll update the lab as soon as development is complete. Thank you. So they added, I guess, what's just an entirely second arena. So right now there's 2 maps. There's this one and then the original one that we all played. And I I don't know if this meant they're trying to also add a third, but it sounds like there's going to be various maps in the future, which is pretty fucking awesome. So just before we get to the rest of the bullet points of the other changes they made, I guess starting with you, Rezlar, since this gear is in fact higher than your gear. What do you think about this?
Okay.
Although ironically, it's going back to Blackstar. You're going home, baby.
Yeah, I'd just like to point out, I got pin ergons yesterday, and I linked it in chat, and I was like, hey, I got pin ergons. And Frosty goes, oh, so is Rezlar finally full pin armor? And I'm like, yeah, finally full pin armor. Like, that's a cool achievement. And he goes, that's almost as much gear as the Equalized Gear.
Yeah, dude, you're
All right,
catching up.
Frosty, can't just let me have a win, can you? Just can't let me have a win. All right, I see how it is.
All right. So yeah, your thoughts on this window and just this whole new system and them scrapping the stat caps or the weird 25% reduction thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is exactly what we wanted from last week, right? I mean, literally word for word, we said make the tome of whatever it was. I'm blanking on what it was last week that you said.
The tome of synchronicity or something.
Yeah, the tome of synchronicity. Yeah. We said like literally just go copy Lost Ark, and they did, and so good for them. I would say like the whole like it would be annoying to change like every game or whatever thing. It's like, yeah, that's why you just like again copy Lost Ark, like it's been done before. I don't know. You could just like save it instead of it being a thing you change. It's just a thing you save and then select like before you queue up. Basically, that's how Lost Ark does it.
Yeah.
Literally, just copy them. Like you don't have to reinvent the wheel.
So based on that general, just on kind of the similar stuff Rezlar just touched on, Nayashe, what are your thoughts on this? Because I want to go more in depth after about the unlocking more stuff and what the customization is actually going to be. But just your thoughts on this new window and interface and it kind of being equalized.
I mean, it looks pretty good for at least an initial look. I mean, obviously, I haven't gone into the global labs to actually mess with it, and it's probably not even translated yet. Probably, I don't know. Have you gone in at all?
No, I don't know if it's actually on global labs yet. I actually haven't gone to check.
Oh, so it might not even be available for us to look at yet. Well, I mean, I like the idea, and I hope it's going to be as smooth as it appears to be as far as usage and just ease of access and. So I mean, overall, I'm happy with it. I think it's a great idea. It's along the lines of what you guys were talking about when we were talking about last week, and I'm glad they made the change. Overall, I think it's positive for the health of this new, arena setup that they're doing. So, I mean, that's basically it. I mean, it's just an overall positive change. So yeah.
Should players, I have a lot of gear. Should I be mad that my gear doesn't count in here? Did I waste my time gearing up?
In regards to this or
Yeah.
generally?
Yeah, should I look at this and be like, what the hell, man? What did I grind for?
Kind of, yeah. But I mean, that's why I think everyone here is in agreement that there should be 2 queues, right? Like at the very least, I understand there's concerns that, like we were talking about before we hit record, about splitting player base and stuff. But I think at the very least, I don't think it would be very controversial to say there should be 2 queues, 2 ladders, one where you can use your gear and then one that is that's equalized. And so that way you can have both. I don't know, maybe that's a controversial opinion. I don't think it is.
I'm throwing it out hypothetically, like as a devil's advocate type thing. I, from the beginning, have been asking for, like, dude, forever. I don't care how much gear I have. This arena should not take into account my gear. Never should have, it always should just be its own thing.
It's a different part of the game.
It's a different part of the game, yeah. It's just like hey, we have this cool combat system. Hop in here and enjoy it. Like, that's what it should be, period. And, like, even with the caps, now I know Choice kind of voiced his concern about this a while back about like there does need to be stuff. It's an MMO, so there needs to be stuff in game that you need to have gear for. But I still think,
Yeah.
and that's okay. Like Node War still feels that way, even though they have some Node Wars that are capped. I think a lot of people, especially if you have higher gear, even fighting against other people with higher gear, most Node Wars still feel better with full gear, mostly because you can your setup is a little bit more customized and tuned to what you actually wanted in your character. But like, I don't know. Siege caps never really bothered me. I still don't feel like the gear is unimportant. It still works in open world, and if they want to continue to make the gear feel important going forward, they need to do that in add more PvE stuff. I mean, they could even add more Node War style game modes, since Node War itself is kind of dying. But I don't think Node War is dying because of the way gear works. I think Node War is dying because the format is just old and boring and doesn't fit what the game is today.
And that's why I said, like, specifically in regards to this or in general, because, like, in general, like, no, obviously your gear is still very worth, but, like, yeah, I could understand being frustrated because if you're looking forward to this content and you specifically wanted to use your gear in this content, like, I get being frustrated about that. But, like, the idea that, like, oh, there's no reason to gear anymore, I just don't know if I agree with that. Now, like, it is, I suppose, an option where it's like if you really just don't want to gear and you're willing to not, like, if you're willing to basically bar yourself from certain content, then, like, yeah, technically you don't have to gear as much as everyone else. You still have to gear a little bit, but it's pretty free. But I don't know. Again, I think I am of the mindset of, like, providing more options will do better for player base than less, personally.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people that have really high gear. Myself, I've seen Zethian talk about it, Choice, Namiko. Like, most people, even with super high gear, seem 100% okay, and in fact prefer this version than a version with gear.
Yeah, like even Zethian was saying he's happy with it too. So like, there's definitely a large amount of players, like, regardless of their gear, they're happy with this change.
Yeah.
Well, to me, I don't know. To me, it just makes sense if you're going to have a ranked arena. Let's step out of the mindset of they should have both for a second. If you're going to have a rank, which they should, if you're going to have a ranked arena, and you have to pick what it's going to be, if the whole idea is that this is just where the skilled get to show off their skills, then you can't do it with real gear. You have to have it equalized.
Well, that's why it's a ranked arena.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know. It's just, it kind of sucks. And I hope that they do. Like, I hope that they give both options. But to me, it seems like if you're going to have it be ranked, it kind of has to be equalized in order to be ranked.
Yeah.
See, if
and that's just the fact of the matter.
If they did, it's funny. I feel like Zethian. I haven't read Zethian's comment yet in chat, but I think he's about to say the same thing. I was gonna say, if it was trial gear, I would probably be sitting there like, man, I wish there was just a full gear option to queue up, because trial gear, I don't think trial gear feels that good on most classes. I think it feels bad on a lot of classes
too, specifically kits as well. But
yeah. And
you don't really get to see the true power of some kits unless you have a lot of gear. But at the same time, it's like, it just is what it is. Like, the game was never really intended for this kind of purpose, and they're basically giving the player base what they want, and that's just the fact of the matter. So this will be the fairest way to go about it.
Yeah,
and if it's popular, so this is on us, the player base, then they might add in a geared one if there's if there's a lot of demand for it. But that also depends on how popular it is.
It is not on us. Don't say that. That's horseshit. That's like saying, oh, well, Garmoth RBF wasn't popular because the players didn't want it. No, you designed a shitty RBF.
Well, okay, yes. Obviously, if it's designed poorly, no one's going to want to play it, yes. But if it's designed fine, that's what I mean. Like, if it works and everyone's happy with it.
But it's I do not think it is up to the players to like do something that is either A and or B, A being not fun or B not worth. It is not our responsibility to play it despite that fact. It is up to Pearl Abyss to make it 1 fun and 2 worth so that more people are drawn to it, and that will breed popularity. So I just that I can't stand when people will have that mindset. I know you didn't necessarily mean it like that, but that's something that I feel like people say quite often, where it's like, well, the players like didn't want it. It's like, yeah, because it fucking sucked, and that's the devs' fault. It's not the fucking players' fault. So
Yeah,
we just need to make sure we need to make sure we draw that line, right? Is all I'm
I
saying.
was mostly implying like design issues aside, like obviously if it's not designed properly, of course it's going to be shit. But
well, regardless whether it's good or not, it's not like the player's fault. Like, here's the thing: if people end up, let's say if it comes out and the rewards are decent and the game mode works well and it feels good, but over time people just don't participate in it, then it's like the player base just isn't into what this is, and it was like a miscalculation on a lot of our parts that where we thought, but it's not our fault. I actually still would put the blame solely on PA for not adding this sooner, so that the players that would be interested in this over the years didn't have it there and left. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, there was a lot of demand for it way back.
And yeah, like Garmoth is a example. There are people out there that are like, well, I mean, you guys say you want RBF maps, you wanted Garmoth, and you don't play it. And it's like, yeah, because Garmoth was shit. We wanted RBF maps. We didn't want an open space RBF map where we can't hide from range damage and we get hit by a dragon over and over with a shit frame rate. No one wanted that. We just wanted like another map because this one is getting old. We've been playing the same one forever.
As exemplified by Valencia RBF, by the way, which has its problems, certainly, but is very well designed, very well thought out, and people love it. Yeah.
So now my question is this, because I don't know what the hell the gear is going to be. I don't know what the highest end gear is going to be. Like, one of the things that confuses me about this screenshot is why does he have 3 pen accessories and then 3 TED accessories?
Like, what does that mean? Is that like gear that he has in his inventory?
No. It's not. It's not gear he has in his inventory. That's not the confusion. The confusion is like, are the options like, why is there pen crescents but only Tungrad earrings is the option? It's not your gear from your inventory.
Because I can tell you why, and I feel like they're gonna do this.
Okay.
Crescent is not the best like ring, right? It's like you said, the red nose ring,
right?
So I bet you they're gonna do some weird shit where like the highest value stuff you can only get at like Tet or some like weird shit like that, which is like doesn't make sense either, really. But like I don't know, like I feel like that's where they're going with that, where they're like, oh, this because it's what we refer to as a red nose accessory, this can go to pen, whereas if you want to use like a Tungrad ring, that can only go to Tet or something like that. Like there's gonna be like some weird shit, I bet.
I agree, there probably will be, but then explain the Tet Tungrad earrings, because those are not the best shit. Why are those Tet?
Yeah, they're best if you want BSR? Question mark? I don't know. Like, I just like there's gonna be some weird ass reasoning behind it. I don't know.
I wonder if you're gonna be able to generate enough BSR to even use it effectively in this.
Segue. Someone brought up to me in chat earlier, and I didn't know if we were going to be able to talk about it, but now we're talking about it, so I want to talk about it. What do you guys feel about BSR in the arena?
Pointless.
But like, do you think it has? Do you think it has any place in it?
Wait.
I mean, it's fine for like the lower ones, I guess, but the 100%'s no in some cases.
No, BSR is the problem. Is some players BSRs instantly kill a whole team, and some are just support skills, and some don't do anything. True.
Yes. So let me tell you what I am 100% positive is going to be unpopular opinion. I think every single round, each person on each team should start with 50% BSR.
Mm-hmm.
So that if you want, you have 5 uses of a 10%, 2
Okay.
uses of a 25%, or 2 people can feed their rage to 1 person so they can use 100%. Now, I am fully understanding that some people's 100% are like busted as shit, while others are dog shit. That's why I've also changed my mind in regards to V. V should just work like Arena of Arsha, where it gets reset every single round.
Wait, what should be reset every round?
V, like in Arena of Arsha.
Isn't that what they
that's
did in the
you
change?
didn't let us get to the bullet points yet.
Right.
Jesus,
Oh, they
Rezlar,
made that
getting
change?
ahead.
Yeah, they made a
Oh.
bunch of changes. That's why I
Well,
want to
good.
talk mostly about the gear stuff, and then we'll go through all those bullet points. But
Well,
yeah,
good. But
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
He's all
like, what
excited.
what do you guys think about that? You think that's a bad idea? You think that's poor?
I mean, what happens with the BSR? It's just
What
at
do you mean?
0.
What happens?
It's the same as AOA, right? So you just don't have BSR.
Yeah, what was the exact question again? I got distracted by the BSR question.
Okay, just never mind. Just don't even listen to me then. It's fine.
Nail brain, man. We're limited.
This is why I use ExpressVPN.
Okay. Yeah, someone's saying that that's their main gear on the left and the right is their arena gear, but that's all one window. This is all the arena gear. This is not their main gear on the left. This
Yeah.
is the problem is that it's stock images on the right, clearly, because this isn't the class this person plays. And when you select the gear, it appears on the left. This is all one window. This is one interface. You're not replacing your own gear. You're putting on just a arena gear from scratch.
Which also, by the way, what? Okay, we all hate caps, right? I think
Mhm.
everyone hates caps.
Yeah.
I was thinking, do you guys think it would be possible and or intelligent to just add this to basically everything that is capped content right now?
I do think it's possible, and I was thinking about that
what
too.
the gear?
Yeah, this gear window.
The
think
tome of
it'd be good.
synchronicity, which I'm gonna keep referring to it as.
Yeah.
So
think
like
it'd
for
be
Cap
good.
Siege, you open up this window and then you pick like what gear you want, basically, instead of it being weird caps. And then it's the same thing for like whatever other like capped content that they may be adding in the future, since they seem to like doing capped content these days.
Yeah. I mean, I think, yes, that would be cool down the road. I think this would be way more fun. Like, all right, if this window ended up working out really well and the options were cool and it felt good and it felt like if you're a striker, you could build a little bit more tankiness, but you're not Divios. And if you were like DR, you could build a little bit of DR, like kind of customize your build to your liking, but it's not like extreme crazy where you're like 1v3ing everybody and you can't be killed kind of thing. Then yeah, I like this setup for the cap stuff. I think before it gets added to any of the capped stuff, though, this should be added as an option for Battle Arena if I'm practicing.
Yes, yeah, that's another good application of it, actually.
Yeah, I would love to be able to go into Battle Arena if I'm practicing for ladder and I get in the ladder anxiety and don't want a ladder right now, to be able to throw this on and go like duel or PvP just to get a better feel for that equipment setup that I'm going to be using.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because when you're comboing, you're not going to know how strong the combo is until you're going to get a feel for it. Because there might be certain combos that you just can't use effectively anymore.
Yeah, but
with that gear set.
To answer your question, and in RBF, to be honest, but to answer your question, Rez, yeah, I think this would be way more fun in T1
Than,
Node
like,
Wars
capped gear.
and in T1 Node Wars and on Valencia and Medaya than the way caps currently work. I think this would be a way more fun option.
And it would also, not to mention as well, which I know a lot of people are not going to like this, but it would also, myself included, like it would cuck me too. It would also prevent that huge discrepancy from, I'm a mega geared player on T1s, so I get to have all of these like cheese stats, right? Like the fucking Chimera earrings and the Kaya necklace and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. No, 100%.
It prevents the heathens of the world from coming up with some absolutely fucked shit build to abuse the shit out of newbies that are thinking that, oh, it's equalized.
Yeah.
Bro, that build that he posted for the arena, man, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that it was awful, dude.
Wait, I didn't see this. What
Let me
was
see.
it?
Did he DM it to me, or did he post it in chat? I think that day, but it was just he did like a with the original caps on the first week. He put together a Garmont.com like build preset that was like cheesed it to the max, so it was like a little bit below the AP cap, but it was exactly at the DR cap with like max HP, max crit by using a pen often, like all this crap. It was Chimera earrings. It looked so.
So that
stupid.
would be the big problem if they didn't do this this gear setup.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like that stuff happens all the time on a much smaller scale, obviously. But like in T1 Node Wars right now, like you use like chimeras and stuff, right? Because it gives you just that little bit extra stats. And if you're like a new player that's thinking like, oh yeah, this is where all the newbies play, like you have a huge disadvantage. So if that capped content was this instead of like that, right? Then it would prevent that huge disadvantage from existing entirely.
The irony too about the way the stats were in that first week is in order to pull off that gear setup, you'd have to be like 710 plus gear score. Like you'd have to have such an insane amount of gear.
Right, that's the point.
Yeah, but
right?
it's not impossible. There's some players out there that definitely have that already.
No, I know, but that's
the point is that in order to gain this like cheese advantage, you have to be a mega geared player, so that a newbie can't do it.
Nayashe would hop into arena. You'd hop into arena and fight Hedon and literally do no damage to him while he still kills you in one combo.
Yeah, basically.
Anyway, this does look awesome, and like people are saying in chat to replace trial gear with this too. This would be a really cool option for trial characters too.
Absolutely. You could just replace like anything where it's not like regular gear. You just replace it with this system, right?
Yeah.
Like it's just I don't know. It just makes sense. And again, I think also like again, you make it available in Battle Arena. So like you join Battle Arena, then you have the option to use your real gear or to use like this gear, the Tome of Synchronicity gear, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this would be really cool as well for just multiple reasons. Like you said, practice for the Arena of Solare. Maybe you're doing some sort of like tournament or just even like a casual fight, but there's a huge gear discrepancy, so now everybody's on the same page without having to like go swap to their trials and stuff. I don't know. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
Mina says that she checked on Global Labs. There's no option to actually look at the new system at the moment.
Okay. Yeah, I had a feeling. That's their new thing. It's like Global Labs is so... I don't know. Global Labs is cool for testing stuff, but some of this stuff shouldn't even be like Global Labs notes. It should be like a preview of what they're thinking about doing, because it's like never even... They don't even put this stuff on Global Labs anymore. It's like so rare that it's instantly on Global Labs. All right, wait, hold on. Let me give you what they're calling this window. It does have a name. I'm trying to get the translation.
I'm not calling it sussification. There's too much meme potential with that. There's no way that's what it's called.
I understand.
Also, artifacts still aren't on Global Labs apparently, according to Mina.
Perfect. Who needs them anyway, you know?
Who needs them? Yeah, and so yeah, I don't know, man. I think that this is the way forward. So
this whole window is called Solare's window equipment configuration, whatever that translation would be in a proper sentence. That's what it said. That's what that text is in the top left. When you click the slot you want to replace on the left device, it automatically moves from the right side. It can be canceled, and if you right click it, it can be replaced with the corresponding equipment. Each equipment modification can be selected one by one, and more diverse equipment can be configured through unlocking. So I guess that answers the question, and for a lot of people in chat, you select an item on the right, it appears on the left. That's it. So this is not anyone's main gear at all. This is only 100% gear from this Solare window. That's what it says down here in this text at the bottom. Also, yeah, it does have crystals. My guess is it also has light stones. And since obviously it shows artifacts. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I really, really like this.
like I said, it's gonna be definitely a big plus for this system. This new arena. I'm really happy with it, and like what you guys are saying is they could translate this into the other aspects like trial characters and stuff. So, or maybe even capped wars and whatnot.
All right, so here are the other let's go through these other bullet points. One, they added a new map, which looks like it has 4 obstacles that you could kind of move around or go behind, and that's it on the 4 corners of this map. And it's a little bit smaller of a map, I think, at least the way it looks visually, but is an entirely new map. Looks pretty cool, I think. So that's nice. What?
I actually didn't look at the images for the new map yet.
Oh, here, I'll
what is it
post
based off of? Yeah, let me
I
see.
don't know. Someone said Histria, but it's like green. So
Interesting.
here, I'm gonna post it in the Discord so you can see what it looks like. Yeah, it has grass and dirt, so I don't know like where is this place? Looks like Atox.
That's a
Ataraxian
dungeon, isn't it?
Like, yeah,
don't
like
know, but-
Aatrox or maybe fucking Kartuga?
Maybe it's yeah, Kratsuga.
No, it can't be
kinda-
Kartuga. It can't. It's just too much grass, I think.
It looks kind of like whatever the forest version of the dungeon is supposed to be, but it
I
doesn't
do
have...
like the concept though. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks more foresty than water or desert. So I don't... It's probably from the dungeon we
Yeah.
don't have yet.
Could be.
What's the like scale of this though? Is this like the whole thing from like really far zoomed out?
Hard to
Yeah,
say.
I believe this is the whole thing. They wanted like varying arenas, so some feeling a little bit different.
So like, can you actually like, are those like diamonds on the 4 like the cubes or whatever on the sides? Like, are those like actually huge that you can actually like?
Yeah,
hide
my
behind?
guess is you can hide behind them. I have a feeling they're not that big, so you can like see through them. But I think you could probably avoid projectiles by hiding behind them.
Yeah, because like I'm looking at this and like my first thought is that this looks like small, but then that doesn't make sense. They would want it to be as big as the other arena, right? So then my next thought is like this is from really far away, basically, and that the scale is just like fucky from how far away we're looking at
I
it.
think this one is smaller than the other one because it doesn't look like it has all the weird edges you can run around. This one is a more basic arena, like smaller basic arena. That's how it looks to me anyway, but I guess I'll have to see when we get in game. All right, so here are the bullet points added. A spectator function has been added that allows you to watch other players' battles after you die.
Good.
Which would be nice, and hopefully in the future add a spectator for people that aren't participating. I think would be kind of fun.
Yeah.
Bamboo is saying they also reduced the size of the other one in the patch too. So that makes sense then. The other one was a little bit too big. All right, the next bullet point has been improved so that the cooldown time of all skills is reset when entering Solare's arena, excluding Black Spirit's Rage 200% skill. Has been improved so that the cooldown of Emergency Escape V is reset at the end of each round. The cooldown time of other skills other than Emergency Evasion is not reset each round, so V resets every single round.
That's good. That's good.
Rob and Daz NPCs to support battle have been added to the starting camp of each team, so you could buy stuff, skill add-ons, repair items, purchase potions, etc. Very nice. The size of the battlefield in the Valley of Elune has been reduced and the starting locations have changed. It's been changed so that the escape function cannot be used inside the battlefield. That was one we didn't even realize would have been a fucking annoying problem. Imagine escape to save yourself from dying in a ranked match.
Now just remove it from all PvP in general, and we're really talking.
It has been changed so that each team of the contestants is composed of a party unit. So now you're in a party with them when you're in here with your team. So I think that alone probably solves the being able to see their health bars.
Clarity. Yeah, that'll help a lot with clarity.
Has been improved to enable party chat, ping function with shift plus tilde, and ally identification in the party configuration state. Character tag, camp, maid functions in the battlefield have been changed so they don't work. Items unnecessary for the match have been changed so that they are not used. I don't know what that means. Probably just random shit like flares and traps and stuff. Has been improved to display up to 10 recent records displayed on the main screen of Solare's arena, and a voice chat channel that can be used between team members when entering Arena Solare has been added, and improved visibility of system messages, including match progress. And that's on top of
progress.
Yeah, probably like match starting now, match has ended, etc. It's probably stuff like that.
Okay.
Is my guess. And
So
yeah.
noticeably, the thing that I noticed that was missing was no kill feed. I still think they need a kill feed.
I think they need a kill feed, and I think they need a kill notification that's different than the one you get when you kill, when your opponent or when your teammates kill people.
I think it just, like what you were saying. I think it just needs to be like a team, like the team can see the kill so that it's confirmation.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people on your team might be like confused and looking for them and wasting strategic
But can't
time.
that just be solved with a kill feed though? I'm confused.
Well,
Like that's how
yeah,
Lost Ark does it.
They could
could.
just make an adjustment.
I love the sound effect though, and I hope they do. Like, I would love if they did a similar sound effect and maybe just a different color if your teammate killed someone.
Yeah, isn't that how they do it in Lost Ark? It's like if you get a kill, it's like I think gold, I want to say, and if your teammate gets a kill, it's like green or blue or some shit.
I think it just shows the red and the blue, and it shows like red killed
Does
blue. It shows like a red and then your name in red, and then a sword, and then the name of the blue player or whatever. I think it does. That's how it looks.
I thought it was a different color. Maybe I'm remembering wrong.
Either way, these are good changes. Like they're basically addressing like all of our complaints, right?
Yeah,
I mean, mostly, almost everything. I don't want to give them too much credit because then it backfires.
And they're gonna stop.
But so far, it's been really, really positive changes outside of the first 2 weeks where they were confusing us all with the weird cap stuff. But this is like really, really, really good changes, and just like directly, it's just like exactly what we've been asking for. Like a lot of things, like they didn't add some weird gimmicky thing to the 3v3. It actually is 3v3. I thought that they would just cave and give us like trial gear, but this window is way better. Way, way, way better. At least in theory. We'll see how it works, but it should be better, more customizable. And I don't know. I really like this, and I like that there's going to be multiple maps and stuff. Like other games, when you queue up outside of like, I guess League and Dota use the same map over and over, but in StarCraft or in other fighting games, you usually have different maps when you're queuing up for ladder. So that's kind of cool. So it's less mundane. I don't know. Do you guys have any major issues with what we have so far? Like, what's kind of the list of stuff we're still missing?
Yeah. So I think the main
being
thing
able to test it.
Yeah.
I think
Like
the
they
main
need to open it up first to like go in and mess with it.
the main thing to me is like the kill feed. I'm trying to think like what else did we say like at the time was like a problem. Trying to remember. I think reducing the size of the arena is probably a good move. It didn't need to be that big for a 3v3.
Mm-hmm.
I still think that because they haven't. Did they say that they added something to the middle of the original arena? I'm trying to remember.
I thought they had mentioned there was something.
They had mentioned that people had said it was open, but I don't know if they actually did anything because we don't get to see it.
Right. So like if they haven't done that, then they still need to. It needs something in the middle of that arena, especially now if it's going to be smaller. It definitely needs like something in the middle to break things up. Whether that's a tree or like a couple trees, big fucking log, giant boulder, like it doesn't really matter. It needs something there. Just like smack it right dab in the middle and that'll be fine, honestly. I think we all still are in agreement that there should be at the very least 2 queues as far as one is this and then one is gear. Yes?
I don't think so. I don't think we need a gear queue. I just don't think anyone would use it. It would be so few people. You think they need a full gear queue? I really don't.
I think that it's good to have that option available for the people who want it.
I don't. I disagree. I actually think that there's no reason to have a gear queue. I can get behind you on the idea of having like a party queue, like a flex and then a solo, but having a full gear queue and equalized to me doesn't make sense. You don't need full gear at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think that there's probably some people out there that want to be able to use their progression in like the actual PvP. And like even if they implemented something like choice once where you get rewards based on the level of normal gear you have to like try and like make that whole system quote unquote fair for people that have progressed further and spent more time progressing. I still think that for some people, it's not even really about the rewards. They just want to be able to use their real gear in PvP. And so I'm like, well, that kind of, I can understand that. And I think that should be an option available to them.
I can understand it too, but I think it's so few people. I really do. And on top of that, like, not to mention the same like issues with multiple queues, but even then it's like, would it also be ranked? And that, like, how few people would be in there? It'd be like, that would be even worse than having two separate three. Like, no, I just feel like zero people would be in there.
I feel like at the end of the day, it all depends on the rewards too. You know, like people aren't going to do any of these probably unless the rewards are worth it, right?
Sure. But yeah, I just think like, I don't know. Similarly to how League has solo duo and flex, like I don't know. I don't think
they don't have a geared queue, so it's not that.
No,
similar.
because there's no gear. It completely resets every time, right? So, but anyway, I don't know. I understand where those people are coming from. And this is me speaking as like a gearlet, so I would not really participate in this at all because my gear is shit. So I still think that should be an option available to them.
What about, man? You're almost trial character.
I know. I have a decent amount of gear. I have zero interest in doing a separate queue where me and other people that are geared can play when we should all just be participating in the same ladder as everyone else.
Right. Well, and like I said, if you're going to pick one or the other, I think this is the way to go. Because if the whole point is that this is supposed to be ranked, this is supposed to be competitive, then it kind of is required that it be equalized at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, this is kind of, so this is Zethian's comment that I kind of agree with, and this is kind of for the flex and solo queue too, because I do want it. He says, I'm fine with there being no gear queue. If the equalize option is absurdly more popular than anyone expected, then adding more options could become an option, but possibly separating the community before we have proof that there's in fact something a large portion of the community wanted could do more harm than good. It's really just that. But I would rather them add early on, like if it ends up being popular, add either 1v1s or a team queue option before even considering a geared option.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that I would like to see them reach out to the community and ask what the community wants in regards to this stuff before just assuming, because everyone's just kind of assuming things. You guys are making an assumption that if you could queue with friends, it would be worse for people. I think the opposite.
There's so much proof in so many other games that it separates the community and makes the queues longer. That is just what has happened in other games. We're just basing it off of,
I'm not
like,
saying
what we've
have a
seen.
separate queue. I'm saying allow people to queue with their friends in the normal queue.
But we also have proof. We also have evidence of that. Like even when people duo queue in like something like League of Legends, people complain that it's like, God damn it, that's like pre-made. Like they're together. Didn't League also early on let you queue with more people? Didn't it let you used to do like 3 or something like that?
I don't know the exact history of that. So I can't really say for sure.
I
don't really remember.
Again, that's why I do want both ultimately. I just think like there's a reason why it got ended up being separated, and there's the same thing why Lost Ark is doing it separated.
But I don't think the people who complain in League about duo queues, they get out of that game and then they go queue up for another game. The people who can't play with their friends, they just don't play. Like that's where
but
I'm.
that's not true.
I
Like we
think
see
there's a
again, we
difference.
have proof in Lost Ark that that's not true. They do just play.
If there's like another option available, yeah.
No, they just play solo queue ladder. You can't queue with friends in ladder in that game.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think so.
ESO is another MMO with similar PvP population BDO, and having pre-mades in their version arenas was terrible and everyone hated it. Yeah, it's just a different beat. You're like making it harder for the people that don't have pre-mades. That's all it really does. That's why it has to be separate. That's why League does a flex. And I'm okay with there being a separate queue. The only thing is like our player base isn't League's. That's all I've been saying this whole time. Is like we just have a smaller player base. So I don't see anything wrong with seeing like a few weeks go by where we have solo queue and see how many people participate. And it's like, this is overwhelmingly popular. We want to add more game modes. So we're going to add a team queue that's separate. We're going to add 1v1s or whatever. That's all it really is. It's not like, hey, no, we should not be able to play with friends. It's just like, if you're going to do a ranked arena, like someone not having friends just gets a lower rank, period. Forever.
But again, you can just not unfairly queue people. Queue 2s against 2s and 3s against 3s.
Okay, so you'd have separate pools, yeah, and then it just becomes an issue of like, are there enough people for all these queues? That's all it is. That's literally just that. Yes, you definitely could do that, and if you have enough people participating, yeah, 100%. That's what I've been saying a million times. Like, if we have the player, but we need some evidence that we have the player base, or should we just make it hard on both queues right off the bat?
But okay, so let me explain, because maybe I'm not being clear. My
Okay.
concern about this whole strategy is that if the rewards are not super good, which you don't think they're going to be, I don't think they're going to be, I don't think anybody thinks they're going to be super good. It's going to be RBF rewards. If I can't get decent rewards from this,
I actually think it might not even be that. I think it'll only be based on your rankings.
maybe. So if I can't get decent rewards from this,
Then it's
and
not
if
worth it
I
for
can't
you.
play with friends, I'm not going to play this.
I understand.
I'm
I
just
understand
not.
that. And I'm not saying that doesn't
And
matter.
so
That
then-
does matter.
but
But
then-
more
well-
people are not going to play if they're getting shit on every time they play, no matter what rank they're in, because they're not with a team. That's the thing. We too
So-
many games have seen it. That's why they separate them.
Rezlar, what's your big problem with not with doing it the way that they're going?
My
Is your
problem
thing is you literally only
that
want to play with friends and that's it?
My problem is that you're not doing the thing that would incentivize players like me to play the game, and then using a lack of players to cite evidence for why you can't
Well-
add this change in.
How often?
No, I think making it incentivizing, in-game currency would be the way to actually make it worth it for you to play.
Right,
not
but we are
necessarily-
all in agreement that they're not going to fucking do that. If they do, then
They
fantastic,
haven't
and I
done
hope they
anything
do.
yet to show us that. We don't know, but yes, I do.
Well,
No, they
Rez-
definitely have done. They have shown plenty of times that they don't want to incentivize.
I'm saying in
PvP.
terms of the arena, yes, with past things they have. That's why I'm leaning towards you guys on that. I do agree that they're probably not going to make it worth it, but same time, they haven't posted anything yet.
I mean, how many times do you solo queue RBF? If you only want to play with friends, why are you solo queuing RBF?
Very rarely. I usually will join Discord with my boys and be like, "Yo, let's hop in fucking RBF like 8, and then we try
queue
and get
up
on
at
the same team."
time. Yeah, you could do the same thing in this.
Yeah, and I wish we could just party together and then be on the same team. It's really frustrating that I have to do it like that.
I also wish that. I just know that they probably have to test it out first and see how many people are participating. It literally just comes down to that.
But also, like, doesn't make any sense because in RBF, you have a literal 50-50 shot of being on the same team. It's totally different from queuing up
you do,
for a ranked
but
game
again,
mode.
it's literally a ranked game mode. It's about fairness. If you queue up and get shit on by a pre-made team, that's why they don't have it. And having separate queues just divides the pool. So that means that wait time for both is longer. They have no proof right now that even one queue is going to have a low wait time. They have zero proof of that. We haven't gotten to test it yet. So, like, why are they going to add multiple queues and fuck everyone's queue times without at least testing it first? That's all that we're saying. Why would they not just
Huh?
test it first? I mean, just to see if it's super popular, like Zethian said, then yeah, add in like, oh shit, like a lot of people want to do this. People are asking for team mode. We're going to add a team queue as well. We'll have a separate ranking. It for sure. Like I want that too. Even if I wish the game was super popular and we knew for sure, like, no, this could just be added right at the start. But like, especially right now, like BDO's in like its downest state ever because of all these games out and the lack of content that's come. I have zero confidence that there's enough people that we could just queue up anytime with multiple queues, multiple pools of players, and just get matches. Especially once ranking comes into play, where it narrows down the amount of people that you can be paired up with. That's all it is. I also want to queue up with friends. I would love to be able to queue up with friends. I understand why they'd need to test that. I also understand why in a flat, like just mixing it together would also just be, people just don't want to get shit on. Like if
it would be an awful experience if it was mixed.
If you're feeling like, I don't know, like I just can't even imagine like trying to, in League, I don't know if they ever, someone said before you used to be able to queue with 5 people, but I'm just like imagining a world where you solo queue in League and you get assholes. One guy's like semi-AFK and your opponent's team is just 5 people that are playing together, like actually playing together in voice and everything. It'd be crazy. It'd be so much more difficult for no reason. But yes, I at the end of the day, I do agree. I do want to. I just am saying I could understand them not doing it right off the bat, just because of the player base.
And all I am saying is that I feel like doing what they're doing and what you guys want them to do is literally enforcing the thing that you quote like supposedly don't want to see. That's all I'm saying.
And what's that?
That if you don't allow people to play with their friends, you're going to have less players, and then you're going to cite less players as a reason for why you can't add the ability for people to play with their friends.
Again, there is evidence in multiple games in history of why they separate them and do them differently. And some games literally only do solo queue with no team play. That's why this is not my, like, how I want to do it. It's literally just how it works. That's why people do solo queue, because they weighed the pros and cons and found that solo queue, more people were interested in solo queuing, even though it's technically a team game, than were interested in getting fucked on by people's friends. The other thing is with friends is you can't consistently have like your friends on all the time. So that queue is probably going to be even longer, because that queue where you queue up with friends requires there to be other people queued up with friends, and everyone has to be on and willing to do it at the same time.
Yes.
So that queue's wait time is going to be significantly longer, which means people probably just won't even do it.
Right, and then they wouldn't do it anyway. Those people have 2 options at that point. Solo queue, which gives you what you want anyway, or they're just not going to play, which they wouldn't if they couldn't play with their friends in the first place.
But you're making that assumption. What evidence do you have that people will not play?
I'm saying there's 2 options. If I want to play with my friends and the queue time is 10 minutes long because it's not at prime time, there's not a lot of other people playing with another friend. I have 2 options. I can either A, play queue for solo queue, which means that you get exactly what you wanted anyway. You get exactly what you want. They go in the normal queue. Or B, I just don't play the queue, which I'm not going to if the option isn't available to play with my friend in the first place.
Okay, and then here's the option if your version gets put in the game. I log into BDO. All I want to do is PvP. I hit the queue button. 3 minutes passes, 4 minutes passes. Fuck this, I'm out. I'm not waiting. Every time I go on, there's a 5-minute queue, a 6 minute, because I don't want to sit there for 6 or 7 minutes waiting for a fucking queue. No one does. It's a huge problem. It's like the thing that all these games try to figure out over time is like, we're trying our best to reduce wait times. We're trying our best to reduce wait times. No one wants to sit there staring at their screen for 7 minutes doing nothing. No one wants to.
But how is allowing people to queue with their friends going to affect that in any way?
Because
when the only options of it, nobody is going to, by your own admission, nobody is going to sit in a queue for 10 minutes.
Correct.
If I have to sit in a queue for 10 minutes to play with my friend, one of 2 things is going to happen. We're both going to queue up for solo queue, at which point all the solo players are now being mixed in with the people who wanted to play with their friends. Or 2, I'm just not going to play it because the only thing I want to do is play with my friends, at which point the ability to play with my friends literally does not matter. It doesn't change a thing for
Yes,
the
it
solo
does.
player's
It
queue.
still pulls out people of the solo queue. It just does. It literally just pulls those people out. There are people that are like fine with doing both, and they'll try to queue up with friends, and they'll be sitting in the queue with friends waiting, and then the solo queue people will have fewer people to pool with, and then they'll be waiting even longer. That's literally like the problem. That's all the problem is. And maybe it'll be solved because it'll be so freaking popular they could just add both, but we have no idea that that's true yet. We just don't know.
I'm so confused. So they're
How?
gonna sit.
There's 1,000 people. Let's just pretend, for example, no, let's say there's 100 people queuing up, right? There's 60 people that want to do solo queue, 30 people that want to do the 3v3 queue. Everyone is in vastly different ranks, right? They're all in different ranks. They all queue up because their ranking only has 5 people that are queuing because the one person that's in the same rank of them is trying to queue up for fucking 3v3 with their friends. They literally don't get a match, and it just goes on forever and ever and ever. It makes the wait time for everyone at every level longer. That's how it works. It splits up the community. Whereas if it was just a solo queue, everyone that's going to queue is going to go for solo queue. Yes, potentially some people that want to play with their friends aren't going to play, but none of the people that want to play with their friends or solo, if they have to wait forever, are going to play at all because waiting is fucking awful. People don't want to wait. It's literally as simple as that. If you have a pool of 100 people, just because you add a 3v3 friend group doesn't mean you're doubling the population of players that are going to queue up. It's not enough to make up the difference. That's all it is. It's literally just that. And maybe, again, I keep saying, I do want it in the game eventually, and maybe they can prove that that'll work, but we don't know that yet. Even in popular games, the queue times are really fucking long. When they reduce it down to 1 or even 2 queues, it's like there's still a long queue. Ugh.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we just disagree then.
Fine. All right, let's move on.
I just feel like you're not listening to me.
I am listening. I'm telling you that the information that you have is wrong. That's why other games do not do it. It does not double the player base. I am listening to you. You're saying, hey, if I can't queue with my friends, I won't queue, and thus less players, and thus your wait time is going to be long anyway. It's like, or you're saying separately, if I want to queue with my friends, that person wasn't going to queue in your pool anyway, so it doesn't pull anyone out. That is false. It will pull people out of the solo queue. That's what happens when you have multiple queues. It 100% pulls people out of the solo queue, and the solo queue thins out longer and longer and longer, more and more, as there's different rankings and people are separated because it's only trying to rank you versus people that are close to your level. So if, for example, normally I would queue up for solo queue and I'd get someone, let's say I get to platinum, I would literally not be in that pool because I queued up and partnered with Rezlar and we're sitting in a separate queue. So all the people that normally would queue up and get me in platinum, I'm not there. Now the queue time is longer. That's all it is. I am listening, and I'm, again, still saying that I also want that. I'm just saying I doubt that they can make it happen right now. There's very few people playing BDO, especially like the percentage of people that are playing BDO that want to do equalized PvP is not 50% of the player base. I highly doubt it. It's probably closer to 10 to 20%, which is significant, but I don't know if it's enough to do a ladder ranking with multiple different levels of ladder and multiple different queues that have separate ladders and separate player bases. I just don't think it's big enough right now. Maybe it will be one day, but I really doubt it. There has already been times in Lost Ark where I'm like, the queue is long or long enough that I'm just like, I'm not going to queue. I'm going to wait until it's like busier in the morning or whatever. Just do something else. Nayashe, what is your opinion on this?
I mean, I get what Rezlar wants. I understand. Like, he wants to play with his friends. But this is just too early in the stage, and I think that's just the problem. Like they need to proof of concept it right now. They need to see it work before they can dedicate more resources towards whether or not it's going to work with, as you're describing, essentially in a way splitting the player base by making it friends versus friends or team groups versus team groups instead of lumping everyone together. Because if they lump everyone together, it's not going to be fair because you're going to have a coordinated advantage versus the solo queuers. So you have to do it separate. That's just the honest truth. So if it's too, early for that, like it just is what it is. Like we just need to see how it goes first and then go from there. And like popular, it'll be popular. If they make it rewarding, it'll incentivize players to play and solo queue up. If there's enough players that are doing it, they will consider it based on feedback. I'm pretty sure they will. I mean, they're putting this in because of feedback. I mean, it only took them 5 fucking years, but and then when they finally announced it, another 10 months. But yeah, that aside, they're getting it in. So we just need to see. We need to wait and see if it's popular or not. If it's going to bring veteran players back and keep them constantly queuing up because they're having fun. It needs to be an incentive so that people make like have a feeling that it's rewarding for them, and then from there they can make that determination if it's worth it to expand into further different kinds of brackets, whether it needs to be friends or different kinds of like matchup types like 2v2s or whatever. So I'm leaning more towards you on this, Frosty. I understand where Rezlar's coming from. I think and Frosty's not against, like you mentioned, you're not really against Rezlar's idea either. You're just concerned that there's not enough players to even make it happen. And then it'll just, like you said, make the queue times excessive. And then no one's going to want to queue because no one's doing it. So ultimately, we need to see how this goes first. Proof of concept, then we move from there. I mean, that's like with anything, like in the real world, like any sort of product. You got to start with, one particular item first, and then you can expand based on, how the response is with the community. So I don't know. I think that's just the best way and approach to go about. And I think that's what they're going to do regardless of what we talk about.
Yeah. People are asking chat, when is this supposed to come? They haven't said anything. They haven't given us a test date. They haven't given us a date and a potential release date. No Q1, Q2, nothing. I'm not really sure why after that first test they haven't given us another option to test this out.
That's a little weird. I don't know why they haven't done anything yet. Maybe they just want to finalize some things, and that's fine. I wish they would just state that though.
Yeah, just give us a date to test, like not even like a release date, just like hey, you guys can test this out on the first week of April. We're gonna have this ready to test at this time or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
What else was? What else, should we talk about? I didn't actually really read this treasure stuff, so I don't know what's happening with these special furnitures and titles have been added for players who have acquired treasure items.
What? I actually didn't see that either. Is it like a storage to display all your stuff kind of thing?
I guess like you can put this fancy furniture if you have like a compass or a map, stuff like that. Ooh, the compass furniture actually looks sick. And then I guess pots too, and then all of these treasure items also will have titles, so you can show it off. Oh, the map actually looks cool too. The furniture anyway. That's actually kind of a cool idea. So there you go. If you got, what is this one supposed to be? Anyone know?
What is it? The furniture thing?
Yeah, so map, merchant ring is this one. Second from the bottom. Oh, the sailing treasure? What the hell is the sailing treasure? Oh, it's the knoll for sailing. Okay. Yeah, so they have one for the merchant ring, the compass, the map, and then the knoll. Anyway, those are kind of cool. And then each one has their own title. I don't know what they're going to actually be called. One of them, I guess this one says Captain for the knoll, is my guess. Polar Star for the compass. Hopefully that's not what it is when it actually comes out. That sounds terrible. Colossus for the Merchant Ring and Archaeologist for the map. Why Colossus for the Merchant Ring?
You know, those big tall fuckers, you just kill them all day, you know, no big deal.
Voice chat improvements. I don't know. Some of this other stuff is just kind of like your normal stuff. I don't know if there's anything significant. They're still not really doing balance. Oh, this is the other thing that was kind of big. You're now going to be it's going to have a miss pop up for the special attack decisions. So if you miss attacks, if someone has evasion, you don't have enough accuracy, you're going to actually see your misses now pop up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. That's actually a pretty interesting thing. It's gonna be great for testing things.
Yeah.
Poor Big and Shiny, he's gonna run out of he's gonna be put out of business with this, you know? He's all his little unique methods on testing damage. Gonna be seeing more and more of everything we need to determine what our gear needs to be at.
Yeah. I mean, not even just for PvP, but also for PvE, like showing up to a spot. It's going to be kind of funny if you're at Taros or something, you start seeing misses, you're like, wait a minute.
Yeah. It'll start making you realize that maybe your gear isn't as optimal there as you thought, even though it seems like it because your, you know, trash per hour is like going up. You'll have to add in more accuracy or, you know, consider something else.
Yeah.
So a lot of those higher end zones, they have a big accuracy requirement.
There's some tweaks here and there. They made a couple changes. One significant one is, for whatever reason, I guess Shadow Eruption's skill effect didn't match the actual hit effect. And according to JM, he said that Shadow Eruption's AoE is now doubled. So that's nice. Sork needed that. And then most of the rest is just bug fixes for the most part. So that's good. Sork. Maybe Sork will be viable. That'll be exciting. Just in time for the arena.
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there anything else?
They just want more you know, Sork videos to pop up based on arena.
We don't really have like a crazy. There's not really that much else to talk about. Is there anything else you guys want to talk about? I was reading through the comments, and I think we decided to exclude Lost Ark from the show. I think a lot of people were like, well, I don't play that game, or a lot of people that play Lost Ark, like, I don't play BDO. So I'll consider doing something separate for Lost Ark. I got to figure it out. So we won't really talk about Lost Ark anymore on the podcast. And it kind of makes sense. So I'll probably end up doing something different. And for anyone that's in my Discord, I'll let everyone know kind of what the plan is for that. I'll probably end up just doing, I think the plan is to just do like some audio only show, something with no video that I could put on YouTube and like Spotify and all that stuff. And it'll probably have a different name and all that. But yeah, so we're going to separate those. Plus, Nayashe, you've been playing BDO more lately.
Yeah, the last couple of days.
How are you liking
last,
it?
3 or 4 days.
How are you liking the treasure hunt for artifacts?
Yeah, treasure hunt's pretty interesting. The artifacts has got me kind of interested in things. I love the setup of it, of how they integrated artifact grind into the various different spots that are available to help basically like all around fix a lot of different market items. Like BMCs, which I know I heard BMCs were fixed prior to this, but this just makes it even, you know, easier to get BMCs now. And then also the Spirit Stones, which is huge for Bells, you know, refueling it. And I don't know, was that fixed prior to this as well or no?
I mean, they had some events that gave us some, but I think it's helpful that people are looking for light stones now for those. So no, that wasn't fixed. The crystals, though, definitely. That was just Hadoom.
Yeah.
It generated so many crystals. But yeah, it was just like a combination of so many people needed crystals at the same time, and I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the artifacts are really cool. I haven't got the ones I want yet. I got the two PvE artifacts, the damage ones that I want. I just don't have all the gems for it yet.
Yeah.
And I want to get the melee accuracy ones, but haven't got lucky with those yet, unfortunately. So hopefully we get those soon. And I got most of the PvP related gems bought off the marketplace already. All my pre-orders got filled pretty quickly. I'm just missing Strike, which is obviously a really difficult one to get your hands on. But I did get lucky, which you already know about. But for the stream or the podcast, I got lucky with rolling 3 useless ones and landed a fire one with Frenzy, the 2 bill one. Sold that bitch so fast. Had no use for it because it's for the BSR setup, and I don't plan on using that. There's another recipe for it, but that's relatively garbage in comparison to the others.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, that's got me pretty interested. Of course, obviously, the arena's got me kind of interested. Of course, that's definitely something I'm going to be putting a lot of attention into. So it's basically what I'm looking at right now. It's got my interest jumping back into BDO. And with Lost Ark, I'm kind of at a spot where you know where it is. You know, like 1350 to 1370. It's kind of like you're in limbo with dailies and whatnot. So there's not really too much activity. I could be focusing on the collectible grind and whatnot and get more skill points and stuff like that. But I was doing it for a little bit, and then I kind of just put it on the back burner for right now. And the best part about Lost Ark for this is you can play 2 games at once with Lost Ark because it's got that rested aspect. So even if you do miss your dailies, you miss out on some things for sure, but the main things as far as like getting resources and whatnot, you're not really missing out on. So it has that perk.
I wanted to ask you guys though. So the winter region is coming April 6th. I believe the end of this current season is like the end of March. I don't know, maybe it's the 24th or the 31st? What if like how hype would it be? Because we've seen the kind of class teasers, which we didn't even talk about. Maybe we should talk about, but they didn't really show that much.
True.
We know it's like
we didn't really get into that.
A dragon theme, and we've seen the sword, and it kind of has like not a name but a title. But let's just say, for example, they did a big fat release. Like, what if April 6th they gave us winter region, new class, new season, and then either the following week or 2 weeks later, Arena of Solare. Like April could legit, if Arena is done properly and there's not a bunch of bugs or whatever, April could legit be like a really good,
pretty hype content.
A really good month for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Theoretically.
It really could. Everyone's just saying copium. All right, what we'll probably get is the winter region April 6th, season later, and then arenas in May or June. But, you know, I do think that class is going to come with the... I think the class will come with the winter region. I mean, it lines up with the March 26th, their ball, which, by the way, is next Friday.
Yeah.
Next Friday night, but I don't know. We'll see. Rez, any hope all of this lands at the same time?
What's that? Solare and the class and stuff. Sorry, I've been arguing with Mina for the past like 20 minutes.
All right, Solare, class, arena. Ideally, April 6th. Solare, class, arena, and new season. All April 6th.
Fuck
Thoughts?
no. April 6th? No, not possible.
All right,
there's no shot.
What about arena push to May, but new class, winter region, and new season April 6th?
So what does that leave out? Sorry?
So it just leaves out the arena. The arena would be like later.
Possible? Possible. I don't know if I'd say likely, but possible. Definitely possible.
Wait. Which season is it right now?
It would be winter, Nayashe.
It's still winter? Okay.
On Also, me and Mina have been arguing about this furthermore, and I just wanted to conclude my earlier statements with a final thing that I think we all agree on. All of these problems, all of these potential problems could theoretically be solved if they just make the content worth participating in.
For sure.
So
Also, could have been solved a long time ago if they just released it sooner, as people joined the game, tried the game, played the game before they left the game,
very true.
and potentially
Very true as
retained
well.
more people.
But unfortunately, we can't go back in time. My point being that the community
can bitch
should
about
really push for this to be a worthwhile content to participate in.
Yes.
That's the reason I'm bringing it up. Is that
Yeah.
we should not be content with just being like, oh, it's going to be like RBF rewards. We should really make a
Yeah.
push to have this be something worth participating in. I really do
Yeah.
believe that.
I am on board with that for sure.
what do you guys-
I think it needs to be incentivized in some strong way.
Should there be a minimum rec of some sort?
What do you mean?
I know we kind of touched on this in the
Like
past.
a pre-requirement before you
Yeah,
can even
like-
use the gear?
Like, if you hop in, are you just like, hey, I just bought an account, I'm level 1, I'm equalized gear, here we go?
Yeah, so, all right, I can already see it. You're going to press, this is a requirement as a quest. You press F3, and then you go to the refresh button. If you see 0 A coins, you click the Pearl Shop button.
Oh no!
Shut
You buy
up.
and then you're good.
You buy
Yeah, you
you
buy-
buy your Arena Solare voucher for 5,000 pearls.
Yeah. If you see that it is currently still not bought, you are doing it wrong. And
Yeah, because Mina raises up a good point, and this is why I'm bringing this up as well. The community really pushed for equalized gear, and they realized that they had been doing it wrong, and now they're working on implementing this. Having decent rewards is not out of the question. It's
Yeah.
unlikely for them to do it of their own fucking volition. However, if the community really pushes hard about this, then it seems like they will at least consider relenting.
Yeah. No, it definitely looks like they are paying attention to feedback for sure. So let me ask you guys this then.
Let that be my closing thought for everyone that is like lol Rezlar retarded, yada yada.
Well,
Just as we can at least agree on one thing, that a lot of these issues can potentially at least be
Potentially, yeah.
solved by making
Yeah.
it be worth it.
Let
So
me
we
ask-
should all
Absolutely.
push for that
Here-
together.
Here's my lack of faith. I because this is like, I don't blame the community. I think that the community has been pushing for RBF rewards for forever.
Yeah.
Like, it's not
Mhm.
like there's a lack of trying. Like, I have never run into anyone that's like, nope, RBF should not give you anything ever. Everyone says it should. Every time a Reddit post is up, people complain about it. I've seen in the partner Discord, I've seen Choice put up that spreadsheet. Like, there's no one on earth that doesn't think RBF rewards are bad and should be better. And for whatever reason, they just absolutely refuse. Potion Shop is the only person I've run into ever.
I was about to say.
I'm so sorry.
all
Potion
right.
Shop is the only person I've run into that vehemently disagrees with everyone else. And he thinks there should be no reward, that your reward is that you're even allowed to go to RBF. But everyone else on Earth thinks there should be some sort of, you should be able to make some kind of gains by going. So
Yeah.
that's why my faith level in them giving us good rewards is at a 0. Now, I do have some faith that they could potentially do some cool end of season rewards. And I was talking about this with my friends, and I know it's unrealistic, and everyone chats me like, LOL, that'll never fucking happen. But I really think it would both A, make people feel good about Pearl Abyss in general, and B, be a reward that you would be excited for. But if they had some sort of like, if you end up in, let's just say there's I forget, I don't know what the names are going to be for all the rankings, but let's just say there's Grandmaster, Master, Diamond, Platinum, Silver, Gold, etc., right? Let's say if you end up in Platinum, at the end of a season you end up in Platinum, you get 1,500 pearls. Like, how cool would that be? Or 1,000 pearls. I know it would never happen. I know they wouldn't do it. But I feel like if the community read those rewards, they would be so hyped to queue up for ranking. If they knew at the end of the season, wherever they place, they get a small amount of pearls that they could buy whatever from the shop. Maybe people don't have a tent. Maybe they don't have whatever. That would be so lit.
Yeah, I think that's very unrealistic, like you said, but that would be awesome, especially for the really casual, like free-to-play players that, you know, don't want to spend a bunch of money on the game. That'd be great for them and would really incentivize them participating in that content.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be so cool. First place gets a J-hammer.
Totally.
Dude, just the idea of like earning pearls through PvP would be so sick. Like even if it's like small amounts.
Do you think
and
1,500
them over
for a
time.
season is like enough? Does that seem fine?
I mean, that buys you. I mean, I don't.
Well, first of all, he said that was like platinum rewards, right? So like the highest
Yeah.
rewards could be even higher.
Yeah, so above platinum in this theoretical world would be diamond, master,
Yeah.
grandmaster, right? So it'd be go up from there, but yeah, it'd be cool.
What about so at the end of season reward, sure. But are you still thinking about like either a daily or a weekly
No.
reward
I think
as
there
well?
should be rewards.
No.
I'm only saying the only thing I actually do have faith in is that they'll give us some end of season reward that might be kind of cool. Whether it's items or cosmetics or whatever. I do think they'll try to give us a cool end of season reward. I don't know what they'll give us for just participating. My guess is
probably
absolutely
the glorious
nothing.
weapon skins and
In fact,
stuff like
it'll
that.
probably cost silver to enter the Arena of Solare is my guess.
Maybe this is an unpopular opinion. Please don't do like a daily or a weekly thing. Just make every match be worth it.
Well, like do five arena matches or something like that to get a reward.
I don't mind a
don't
one-time
do
boost.
that.
They do it at grind spots, and I think it's fine. For people that don't have like a whole lot of time.
I also don't want this to become daily online where I have to do this or else I'm missing out.
Exactly.
Kind of thing. But at the same time,
A little boost.
I do
Frosty. I would be fine with a one-time boost. What I don't want is RBF daily, where if you get unlucky and get on the shit team multiple times, you have to sit there and play for like 2 fucking hours to finish your
awful.
daily.
That
That's
feels
what I
awful.
don't want.
I'm just saying, imagine your ideal rewards for whatever PvP is, and then you just throw in the daily on top of that, where it's like, okay, the first time you go in, and I agree, you shouldn't have to lose 3 times or win once. It should just be if you participate.
That would be. I'm fine with like that kind of daily, where it's like, oh yeah, you just get a little extra for participating one time, but like not what we have for RBF, please, God.
I do kind of like the weekly that they gave us in RBF, because that one is just, you just turn in your seals. And you could save them up. So that one I kind of like, the way they did that.
That's fine. I'm specifically talking about the cursed one.
The
one where you're like, oh yeah, let me just go complete this daily real quick. There's 10 minutes left in this RBF. You know, I can go in and do it real quick. Oh, we lost. Oh, that's okay. Well, you know, now I'm in the system of players, so now I'm gonna have to queue for a full match. But that's okay. You know, it's okay. Now we're 30 minutes into doing this quick daily that should have taken 10 minutes. All right, now let me just queue up for a third one because we also lost that one, and now I'm at 50 minutes to do this quick daily that could have theoretically taken 10 minutes. Like,
yeah, So what I'm hoping for, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way. So like, I'm hoping it's kind of more similar to how Lost Ark's setup is. Like you get your coins. Obviously, it's not released yet, but you get your coins from doing the arena matches, and you get coins based on performance or whatever. And then you take those coins and you can turn them into a shop and buy specific rewards of your choosing, having options. So like, BDO could do that same kind of thing, but like have like accessory boxes or something like that available. I don't know. What do you think about that? Like they have those boxes that they have for the Shaka 2 seals.
It just depends on how many they're giving you, because of how it impacts the market if they're just being infinitely generated.
Yeah, I got you.
That's the only thing. That's why it's like, I prefer, if there's going to be rewards, it being something along the lines of a small amount of silver, maybe some dust and cron stones. That's like significant, you know, where it's like at the end of your day, you made progress, like you actually made gains, but it's not just raw silver or just like, up now Tungrad rings are worth 41 mil because everyone gets a Tungrad ring every time they do 3 RBFs or whatever.
I mean, Tungrads are like... Tungrad rings pretty like shit right now.
I mean, they're like 100. They're
event.
like 100 plus mil, right? But if everyone's just getting them for RBF,
Oh,
or
rings.
PvP,
I'm sorry, not
yeah.
rings. I was thinking of earring or the necklace, because the necklace I sold one the other day. It was like not
Yeah.
much.
Definitely
Or
shouldn't
maybe
be
I was
one
thinking of
item.
Leighton.
I
was
think
thinking of Leighton.
it can be items, but it can't be a small amount of items, or at least not like accessory wise anyway. If you're gonna do accessories, it probably, and people aren't gonna like this, but it kind of has to be for balance reasons. It kind of has to be an RNG box with like multiple things you can get.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I was getting at. The RNG boxes, like we have, like for example, the RNG boxes for accessories, the RNG boxes for like the gold, if you want to go for like raw silver kind of thing, because you feel like you have a better chance at that.
I honestly
like-
would just rather it be a Shadow Arena-esque reward where it's like certain materials that are always valuable, right? And then maybe on top of this, in this same reward, you can also have like a very small chance of getting like
Deborah
accessories.
Nick.
I don't know about that, but
Come
I mean
on,
maybe
dude.
that's what
at
that should
an
be the that should
at
be
an
the ending
incredibly
reward for the
small
season.
rate, sure.
Look,
like yeah.
Selfishly, I would love a very, very rare chance to get a Deborah next so people could start making them and increase the price. They need to remove the 126 bill cap and make it like 400 bills so I could save up and buy it.
Yeah.
So
but
yeah,
I
think that's the way to
absolutely
do
it would have
honestly.
to be, if they did something like that, it would have to be the RNG boxes so that it balances out. But what that does is, like, you know how if you take too many players out of grinding and whatnot, it would obviously affect how many accessories and whatnot would be on the marketplace. Usually that would kind of be a good thing too, though, because then players would be incentivized to go grind for them, blah blah blah. But this would kind of keep things a more level balance.
Yeah, but
out.
like okay.
But then the money you get is RNG based. So
Let's address something right now because I've been seeing this a lot lately, and I think I've been seeing it in our comment section as well as like on Reddit and other streams and stuff that are talking about it. This idea that like if you make PvP worth it, it's going to decentivize people to PvP or PvE rather. First of all, I don't think there's a single person out there that's saying that you should be able to make like 700 mil at fucking doing PvP. Like 700 mil an hour. I don't think there's a single person saying that. So that would make it better than Orcs, the best PvE spot for money, right? Like even on Choice's thing, the most amount of money you got per hour, I forget how much it was because he
something
had
like
it
600. Might have been 600 if you were always winning.
if you were always winning like 100% of the time with 100% of like the best, you had full teams on both sides the whole time, and like it's just not feasible for that to happen, right? So you're making less than Orcs if you are 100% perfect 100% of the time in this team-based game mode, which means that you're not the only competitor. Like there was a comment, I don't remember if it was on this week's or last week's, where it was like, even if it was just 200 mil an hour, 300 mil an hour, I'd be hype as fuck. And I'm like, yeah, dude, same. Like,
Yeah.
people are making more than that at Sulfur right now, right? So it's like, why can't we have that for PvP? I don't understand.
I mean, like, I can PvP for hours and hours and hours, and if it's like relatively close, then I'd still be making those gains and whatnot. But it wouldn't be like disincentivizing for like those players that actually enjoy grinding or like doing life scaling, because they're obviously making more money. But yeah, I don't know. For me personally, like, I would just fucking keep queuing up over and over and over again if it was that kind of money. It'd just
Same.
be. It would just be.
And
really,
I can make more, and I can make more than that at fucking like underwater or somewhere, like pretty
Yeah.
easily. But like, if I had the ability to make 200 mil an hour PvPing, I'd probably just do that all fucking day, dude.
Yeah.
But then, like, the person who can make 400 mil an hour underwater and likes PvPing, they're not gonna go PvP for 200 fucking mil. You know? I don't know. It's just like it's so weird.
If
It's
they
like,
want
well,
a
there's going to
PvP,
be
they'll
less
do it.
people. If
They
your
won't feel
statement
as
is
bad.
if your statement is there's going to be less people grinding, like yes, there is, and isn't that actually good for you, the person who doesn't want to PvP? You don't want to duel for spot at your fucking locations and shit. Like I don't understand. As long as it's not so much better that the people who don't want to PvP feel like they have to. I just don't think it's like a problem. And I don't think anybody really thinks that it should be that insanely good. People just want it to be worth their time. That's all that anybody's
Yep.
asking for.
Did Nayashe just get hooked in the neck with a...
I think he did. He just got pulled off
I said-
stage.
No, I just said yep.
Oh,
And that was it.
It sounded like the cane grabbed you by the neck and yoinked you up. You're like,
No.
oh!
It's just so frustrating to see like this. I don't know what the word is. I want to say it's like straw man, where they're arguing against this like premise that no one's using. They're like, well, PvP, that's ridiculous. PvP shouldn't be 1 billion silver an hour. It's like, no, nobody's saying it should be. Like, what? PvP shouldn't just like hand you like try ogre rings and stuff. Yeah, nobody thinks it should. Where are you getting this information from? Like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, make it worth it. Hopefully they do. I still, again, don't have any faith that they will. But we'll see. I guess we'll see what their initial announcement is. The sad thing is we're probably not going to know. Like RBF, we probably won't know until the moment it's on our server, and we're like, oh, it's just RBF rewards.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Sadly.
I honestly think if they don't make it worth it, I really think it's going to be pretty dead on arrival, honestly. If it's not worth at least like a mild amount of funds.
I think people still do want to just rank up. There's still going to be a decent amount of people
There's
that want to
people.
rank up, for sure. But
Absolutely,
it'll definitely
but-
be healthier if there's rewards.
But it's like you said with the queue times, if they don't make it worth it at least a little bit, then you're losing a lot of players right out the gate. And so now the only people that are participating are the people that do it purely for the fun of it. And those queue times are going to get long, and then the longer the queue times get, the more players are not participating, which increases queue times even further, and it's just a downward spiral.
They're not going to give us rewards. I already know it. I'm telling you right now.
Everything can be fixed if they just give us decent rewards. Literally everything. I'm convinced of this.
Potion disagrees. You're ruining the integrity of the game.
Potion disagrees.
All right.
I don't take advice from a mop. Good old motion mop.
All right. Let's you ready for comments?
Yeah, you gotta get going soon, right?
Yep, I do. Do we have your thoughts on real quick on the new class teaser?
Why does the sword look so much smaller than in that silhouette they provided us? I feel like the silhouette, it was fucking huge.
Yeah, it looked bigger
in that
the silhouette,
teaser,
for sure.
it looks a lot more like DK fucking like what's it called? Kriegmeister or whatever their fucking main hand is.
Kriegsmaster. I think
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like skinnier. Maybe I'm wrong,
someone
but
said it's cold outside.
oh no. But I'm excited for it, honestly. Apparently it's supposed to be Guardians like enemy or some shit.
I don't know. I don't know what to make of the lore stuff. It's hard to say if it's Guardian's enemy or just Dragon's enemy. But I hope they make it a villain. I really do.
I'm excited though. I'm excited. I'm always excited when a new class. I'm not one of those people that's like they should focus on balancing before they come out with a new class. It's like no, new classes are exciting. Brings in new players. Like new classes are fun, and fun is desperately what this fucking game needs.
This is definitely my new main.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Okay.
Dude, dragons, sword, I'm in.
You said the
Dragons
same
and
thing
sword, huh?
about the sand wizard. You said the same
Hey.
thing about the
The
mermaid.
sand wizard, I'm chilling on the sand wizard, dude. That's what I was grinding on before we started.
Yeah, after you broke up with him and then you crawled back to him like a year later, like, oh hello sand wizard, do you remember me?
Yeah. This is my new main. It's gonna be sick. I have no idea what it's gonna be, but there's a lot of stuff here that's dragon related. So I feel like telling you they put themselves in a corner. If there's not anything dragon
Yeah.
related to its combat, I think people are gonna be like, "What the fuck was that whole thing about?" Then
Yeah, hopefully it's not like a mystic water dragon thing. That'll be sad.
yeah,
Where it's like, hey, on like 2 skills, there's a little bit of an animation where you can see a dragon. It's like, ugh.
All right. Comments. I don't know if there's any we need to remove. I haven't looked.
Do you want me to do them,
Oh,
or are you
damn
gonna
it.
do them?
I'll do them. I'll do them today.
Okay.
Let's see. Where's the newest? Newest at the top.
What is that question? Because I haven't done any research in this. What is the drop rate of artifacts? Is it like super low?
It's very low. Yeah.
Okay, that
They're-
makes
they're
sense.
pretty
Because
rare.
like I'm in like my 5th or 6th hour here, and I've gotten a bunch of light stones, but no artifacts, and I'm like, is it really that much lower than the light stones?
Yeah. I don't know. It's pretty low. Yeah, it's definitely lower than Lightstones. Like I probably have gotten. I don't know. They're rarer than Distos at Star's End. At least for me, they were like a lot more rare. I probably got 3 artifacts in the time it took me to get like 12 Distos.
Mina's telling me 1 per 2 hours, but if that's true, then I am getting absolutely butt fucked over here. Because I am on either my 5th or 6th hour, and I ain't got shit.
Yeah. You should pop a loot scroll. All right.
Dude, I have loot scroll, tent buff. I'm running these supreme scrolls that we've been getting. Like, I'm burning everything, dog. I'm trying hard.
All right, Genesee says ranked in quotes arenas implies matched gear. Very least allow restricted variables for balance to put people on an even playing field, leaving it up to skill. Why isn't there a ranked for caps and unranked uncapped? Edit. Rez just said it. They definitely have the resources. This shouldn't be that hard to do. Coming from an actual programming manager. This is exactly why the player base is dwindling. These type of development choices are just abysmal at this point and surmises several other decisions they've made over the years. It's not about just remembering the bad more than the good. This entire fiasco is a clear indication PA has entirely lost the point and my faith in maintaining this game. It's so simple of a concept, yet they fail to grasp it. Edit. Heard the G Labs updates, but my original thoughts still stand. I just don't get why time and time again the community has to go in uproar mode to get these things of a simple nature and concept fixed. Everything ends up delayed and subpar, makes everything they've been doing as of late feel intentionally self-sabotaging. I just fail to grasp how such a simple concept, or such a simple of concept time and time again can't be executed successfully by them.
Hey,
I mean, those
listen.
are fair feelings.
Yes, but also, if they listen to us every time we say, what the fuck, change this, I'd be happy, honestly. Unfortunately, they haven't done that in the past. They're doing it this time, and I think it's important to pat them on the back, not forgive them for their sins, but to say good job and keep doing this, please.
Look, I'm gonna also give them a little bit of credit for making this change before it came to us.
Yes.
Like, I don't mind them getting it wrong on Global Labs a few times and then ending up with it right. My problem is when it's like they keep getting it wrong on Global Labs and then release it that way, and then like a year later they make it right, or never. So it's like it's still in testing phase. They waited for feedback, listened to feedback. That's kind of the process it should be. I'm okay with how this went down so far, anyway.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I wish they would do this.
I mean,
I wish they would do
it's
this
going
more.
pretty well.
Failure55 Iffy says, why not split this into 2 shows? Like, I don't play Lost Ark, you know what I mean? No hate, just confused why it's all in one bunch instead of making this 2 separate things. Yeah, we're probably going to do that. No more Lost Ark talk on the value pack.
And for the record, I defended Lost Ark when we had a conversation about this. I said keep it in. I just want to be clear. This isn't, Rezlar doesn't play the game, so he doesn't fucking want to talk about Lost Ark. That is not what happened. Just want to point that out.
Rezlar already doesn't play BDO. We don't need him not playing 2 games. You know what I mean?
Okay, listen here, buddy. I just got Penurgons, man. Come on.
True.
Nayashe, what year did you get?
Gains.
What year did you get your boots to pen, Nayashe?
Do
you?
It's so far back.
But hold on, no. That's bullshit because I had Penurgons before, and I'm sold them
sure
for
I had
Pet
them for
Black
3 years
Star.
now at this point.
Okay, here we'll do a different question. Nayashe, what year did you get full pen armors? At what year did you have all of your armors for pen? Yeah, you had full helmet, boots, gloves.
I think
chest.
2 years ago at this point.
Again, unfair comparison. I had full Tet Black Star armor. I just like to point that out.
Yeah, I'm not talking about Tri-Boss. I'm talking about.
Okay.
The Awkward Ninja says TLDR PA feels lazy. I like journals, wager matches. Down with Nayashe. Thank you for entertaining me while I'm sick. In my opinion, it feels like despite there being a player base and people spending money that the devs have just given up. It feels like the devs are phoning it in at this point, which really sucks, and it isn't just for BDO. Where the heck are all the other games PA announced? It sounds like PA has a serious company culture problem, which is wild to be able to get that feeling from playing a game. It's been 3 months since the last info dump. They added 2 item slots with, I guess, interesting stat choices, but and winter region that is still missing from global. The arenas got delayed a bunch and are still in dev hell, it feels like. Half of the stuff they promised with the artifacts are missing. What happened to Calpheon Hadum? Dungeon Part 3. This is why, despite not being initially interested in Lost Ark, I am hyped. They have had a full dev stream, and despite a rocky Argos release, paywall, nice game, Amazon Keck W, I am way more hyped about it since it feels a bit more like the devs care for now. PA really needs to blow my balls off with an awesome release. Yeah, wow. PA really needs to blow my balls off with an awesome release and something because BDO just feels really stale right now. I would also like to comment that for a while their life skillers have been pretty much been told to just grind orcs if you want a life skill. Journals are awesome new stuff that breaks up content, in my opinion. As a veteran player, it is nice to sometimes just do something that isn't 100 more hours of orcs, just like how the dungeon breaks stuff up. Also, idea for arena. For income, why not make arenas a wager match? Because exploiters and cheaters, you know?
True. And regarding the journals thing, I think because the previous week, I think somebody had said that their friend quit because of journals. And I think that it's really, journals are fine for us new player or veteran players rather. Because it like gives us a little bit of a side objective to like work on whenever we don't want to do traditional content. However, I do think that I can understand why as a new player you're like, dude, what's this fucking checklist of shit that I have to do? It's like, that's why I said last week, like, that person should have told their friend, like, oh yeah, just don't worry about that right now. Because really, if you're a new player, you just shouldn't really worry about the journals until you get to the point where you're like, I'm kind of bored of grinding. Now I'll go do this, right?
Yeah. The thing I like about the journals, and it's not clearly shown when you first start the game, is that you can just slowly chip away at them over time. Because they're like, you're getting so much AP and DP. The reason why the journals felt really good for veterans as they came out is because you were so hard stuck on your next AP gain that the journal was actually faster to get your next upgrade or your next bracket or whatever. And I feel like if new players approach it that way too, where it's like, oh, I don't really need to do that. That's 2 AP. I can get that just from saving up and buying a Tech Crescent. You know what I mean? Like that, it'll be fine too. I actually like the journals, and I think the reason they added so many of them is because as they came out, people were interested in them and liked them, and the feedback was good. It's just if you try to do all of them at once, it's like a nightmare. It's something that you have to do over the
That would be
course.
horrible to fucking do all at once.
Yeah,
Some of them just take days and even entire weeks to finish.
right. I think they're an all right side thing to do. I just think that you have to like spread it out and not try to be like, all right, well now I got to do all my journals. Here it comes. Because there's a lot now that they've added. Also, not all of them you even really have to do. Like I don't know. I still haven't finished the Kaffirstone one at all. But
I did that one a little while ago, but yeah, I put it.
Yeah, I
to the
don't think I
wayside for
finished
quite a
that one
while.
either. Honestly.
The Fang says, I was all interested in listening to your opinion on the arena changes with the point system and all. Then you did a bait and switch and did a -7. Might as well start off with PA is dumb. I came for 3 hours of the value pack. I heard it was a short episode, still 3 hours. Nice. It was only 1 hour of the value pack, 40 minutes of crystalline aura, and the rest is comments. Feel like you guys should really split the Lost Ark stuff to a different episode show. Podcast might get more of a Lost Ark player base instead of a BDO player base. Yeah. Message received. Mian says, no offense, but hearing
I
Rezlar...
disagree with that. Just want to state, I time stamped it. You could have just skipped it. Just like to point that out. If I didn't time stamp it, that would be a valid argument. I time stamped it. You could have skipped the entire Lost Ark portion. I just want to point that out.
Mayan says, no offense, but hearing Rezlar argue with the comment section is very entertaining to me. XD. Deadly Zero says,
I think that
Go
wasn't
ahead.
that the person that I was arguing with last week too. I think that's when I read that I was like, this is the motherfucker I was arguing with. And saying
Was
that.
it? Oh no.
I think it was.
He gets entertainment from arguing with.
Yeah, exactly. So now he's just gonna say things that he knows I'm gonna get annoyed about and argue with him, and then he's gonna be like, "I love it. It's content." It's like,
Yeah. Deadly Zero says, it's so stupid. 1, it's so stupid. Please BDO more timer to nothing. 2, add PvP rank, higher rank, more money like mastery. 3, no gear cap. It's still a MMO. 4, just add simple things. Stop wasting time for the alpacas. 5, improve the game that we already have. Life skill update. 6, put every zone at the same content state. I mean, I mostly agree with this, except for the no gear cap for the arenas. If that's what you mean, I don't know what he's saying.
yeah,
Alex-
I think that's what he's saying. No gear cap for the Arena Solare because it's still an MMO. But again, not to beat a dead horse, if you're having a ranked mode where we're trying to make things as fair as possible, you do kind of have to equalize it.
Yeah, it's more fun. I don't know. I just think it's more fun that way. Anyway, it's maybe I'm alone in this, but when I go to Star Zen on my Kuno and someone actually dies in one ability, that gets old real fast. To me, it does. Or 2 abilities or whatever. Like if they're running around in Tuvala gear, and it's like me just trying to not get CC'd kills them, it's not fun. Ali Speed said, just put equalized gear mode. This obsession with gears destroying this game. Do the devs thing. Pay to win label BDO has the outside world to be praised. That sentence was interesting. I didn't fully understand it, but I get what he's saying.
I'm a little weirded out by that one.
I think I get what he's
I mean,
saying.
isn't the base sentiment is that equalize it because I guess the gear is pay to win, which like fair, but also if you're still playing BDO right now, I don't think you care much about pay to win, right? Like everyone who cared about pay to win left BDO a long time ago, I think.
Yeah. Juan Damashki says, technically to grind, you need to learn to PvP to protect your spot. So got you there, Rezlar.
I mean, I know it's a meme, but no, you could just swap.
Dylan Sandgren says, console gets screwed every time PA has a live stream event. All they do is tell us about content we will never get. We don't even have Kron Moth as a world boss. No he meant Vel. No Vel, capped at C9. We just got RBF back after 6 months. The last content we got was the release of Lower Secrea. For fuck's sakes, give us something.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think the only way to really make console right and to do right by console players is if PA got every console player a PC that can run Black Desert Online on PC. And that way, everybody can just transition on right over. I think that's the only thing to do. It's crazy, actually. No meme. It is crazy though. The amount of people that I've met recently that have been like, yeah, I used to play console, but then it's dead as fuck. So I play PC now.
Has
It's
there
like,
ever been a
holy
game that's
shit.
done that allowed you to transfer your console over to a PC?
I don't know.
That's
about,
not what I was referring to, but that would
Oh.
be interesting.
Wait, what were you referring to then?
I was just memeing and
Oh.
saying that Prolibus should buy them all a computer.
Okay.
I don't. I'm trying to remember if GTA did this, but they did.
Yeah, that's a good example.
They did let me transfer from PS3 to PS4.
Interesting.
Later, which was literally a whole new. It was like a whole different online. Like they don't play together with PS3.
Yeah,
when that came out,
I think
so it's possible.
Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say so it's possible. Some people are saying Destiny 2 allowed it.
Final Fantasy 14 has cross save. Someone says
Crossplay. Apparently they do. Apparently
Well,
Final Fantasy
I mean-
14 can play with console players. I don't know if that's true or not though.
From basically it's going to come down to if the databases on how they set them up is going to be able to translate everything properly. Because if they're not set up the same, then that's probably going to be a huge issue. So if they are set up the same, though, it's theoretically possible.
I know people are saying Final Fantasy 14 gets to play RAID together with console. That's insane. That would never work for BDO just because of their performance issues are so fucking bad on console. But
Yep.
It's an interesting concept.
I think they made a change a while back to make it a little bit better, but doesn't console still have not as many mobs at all their grind locations?
I think they got
because
most
of
back.
performance reasons.
I'm pretty sure they
I know
got
that's
most
why
of
I'm
mobs
saying
back.
they changed it a while back, but I think they're still missing fucking 20% or something, aren't they?
I don't know.
Or did they fully add everything back?
They added it back, and as that happened, game modes started disappearing, like RBF. So I don't know. I can't remember if they fully added it back, but I'm pretty sure they did. I think they have all the mobs now.
The fact that they had to do that is so crazy.
It really is. It really is. JJ Carver says, how much would PA profit if they add Equalized Gear ranked arena? It takes time to code this stuff, especially if they're understaffed. That means if they implement anything, it's got to be geared towards being players into the game. I think he means bringing, or increasing company value in general. Anytime I see advertisement for BDO, it's due to new character release, which is geared towards increasing the player base. How would they advertise PvP arenas? Or should they add a new class to the launch of these new PvP arenas you guys are talking about? Maybe develop a broken 1v1 class and show it stomping people in arenas, then nerf it into the dirt later. All right, this is like the most pessimistic view ever. And if you add fun... this notion that if you don't directly make money from a game mode, then it's not worth their time is such bullshit. If you have more and more fun game modes in your game, there's more things to do and people will play longer and spend money in your game. So add ranked arenas. If people like it, they'll stay and play and potentially buy costume for their character that they're ranking on. There's potential. Like I always say, my group of friends, there's potential that some of my friends start playing the ranked arena, really, really like it, and get costumes for their characters that they're ranking on.
Yeah.
Absolutely potential to make money out of that.
I just like to point out, Mina said something earlier whenever you brought up the idea of getting pearls based on where you finish at the end of your thing. She actually brought up that it, in a weird way, it could actually incentivize people to spend money, because if you get 2,000 pearls, because
it's not quite enough, but it's close.
Yeah, exactly. It's the whole microtransaction deal, right? Where you're just short, and so you're like, well, I gotta buy $5 worth of pearls, but I may as well buy $20 or something like that, right?
Yeah.
This is how microtransactions get you.
Yeah, that's exactly right. But yeah, to what someone said earlier about the having a new class and whatnot, or based on what content helps bring in players and money, blah blah blah. I mean, they got the new Destroyer class coming out. That's probably the new Arena class. How ridiculous would that be? Yeah, how ridiculous would that be if it turns out it has some sort of weird perk towards arenas?
Look,
I thought it was interesting. He said show it being busted in an arena or something. You
Yeah.
mean like pay famous streamers, to come play the game for a week?
someone is
Sure.
saying, I'm not going to name their name. Frosty, you are an oldie like me. Don't forget that there's something called shareholders. Shareholders don't give a fuck if we're having fun or not. Yeah, they do, because if we're not playing their game, and thus they're losing money. The shareholders absolutely look at your player base and see it dwindling and think, people aren't having fun in your game, means we're not going to make money, means we're out. Thanks anyway.
Yeah.
Bye.
They'll pull their funding.
Droopy
Whether it's
Turtle.
Cash out.
Droopy Turtle says, BDO is easily one of the games that makes me the saddest. It has probably the best gameplay of all MMOs I've played, but everything around it is absolute dog shit. FPA, well, I don't know what it's doing to its console base, to absolute tone-deaf changes it makes, and even further mind-boggling is the fact that PvP doesn't get rewarded in any significant way. A PvP-oriented game doesn't reward you for playing in the content that is it's kind of tailored to. Absolutely bizarre equivalent would be like FF14 making all the top-end content like raids give you nothing, but all the armor and weapons are locked behind PvP in a PvE-oriented game. I don't love the analogy because it's not just a BDO is not just a PvP oriented game, but I get what you're saying. I got what you're saying for sure. Spoon Elite says, listening to Frosty complain.
All the PvEers are losing their mind every time you say PvP oriented game.
Listening to Frosty complain makes me want to turn off the video. Verbal combat versus this invisible, to me at least, enemy of Lost Ark White Knights, made worse by the fact that I have nothing to relate to here. It's like hearing a millionaire complain about the yacht they wanted could only be won by putting their name in a hat and couldn't be bought. You're fighting a losing battle, and it's miserable to listen to. It's no different really from BDO release. There were tons of Cacao PA apologists on release because people were in the honeymoon phase. It's no mystery. Also, I can't be the only one who noticed how many more patrons there were before Lost Ark. Let's go back. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I found that comment interesting because there has been a reduction in patrons lately, and it's funny. Almost every single one of them has reached out to me and told me why that is, and it's not because of anything to do with like Lost Ark or anything like that. It's always like, hey, like I got a new job, I just had a kid, like I'm moving, like it's always IRL things. It's not something so petty as like you're talking about Lost Ark and I don't like it.
So
I mean, like that was real life stuff was part of the reason why I was taking a break, but also like I just needed to change up the game too because there was just other stuff coming out. I wanted to try it, so it was two-part. So.
Spoonlead is the guy that last week said that Lost Ark does respect your time, that I don't respect my time, and BDO doesn't respect your time. And now he's saying he doesn't know who these Lost Ark White Knights are, and they also had them in BDO, and blah, 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 blah. And then his analogy of the yacht, that I'm complaining about the yacht that I won for free, implies that I should just be absolutely thankful for Lost Ark and the devs. I should be definitely thanking them, and me having everything I want in Lost Ark but still complaining is just preposterous. And hell no. I'm sorry, man.
You're just such a bad guy for complaining.
No, it's look. I've said a million times. I actually really love Lost Ark right now. I'm enjoying it more than BDO because it's newer, it's fresher, and BDO is in this like stale state. I still love BDO, and I'm excited for the new content. And I can recognize when something is good or bad for the players. And this whole Lost Ark respects your time. You only got to do it once a day. It's super easy. Look at the player base, man. Look at the feedback. All you got to do is open your eyes. All you got to do is look and see how many people are complaining about the state and their gigantic post essentially apologizing for not giving us enough stuff to deal with the grind at the end, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You can be blind and head in sand. That's all you... Fine. Totally fine. That's okay. If you're happy with the state of the game, that's totally okay. But you are the absolute minority, and all you have to do is just look at Reddit, look at the website, go to the official website, look in game, look at the Steam charts, look at the numbers. There has been a huge cloud of negativity around Lost Ark for a while, for good reason. So it's not just, You have everything you want, Frosty. Can't believe you're still complaining. It's so tiring to listen to. Sorry, that's all. Pink Master says,
I think what it is after praising Lost Ark initially, PA came down with the hammer and was like, "Hey, you're not getting your check anymore unless you start turning this dialogue around real quick." And so you started slandering Lost Ark in the name of getting your weekly check from Pearl Abyss. I think that's what it is.
I'm not slandering Lost Ark. I'm swatting down the flies and their lies about how it cannot do any wrong, how Smilegate has nothing to do with any of these problems. This is all Amazon. Wrong. All of that stuff. It's just like, no, the game is awesome and it has a lot, but for whatever reason, they gave us a very, very weird version. So, and it needs to be fixed. And they announced that, oh, we released this content too early. We also didn't give you enough enhancement stuff. We're going to try to fix that and apologize, and we're sorry. We miscalculated. I guess they also are just wrong. Hopefully you're commenting on their page too, that you should be like, hey, you guys should not apologize for this. You didn't release Argos too early. You are wrong. Go tell them that they're wrong to their face. Pink Master says, I really like Lost Ark, but I don't like being capped by daily things. I can't play every day, but when I do, I can play a good amount of hours, but it doesn't matter because I'm mostly capped by the daily. Playing 10 hours in 7 days is better than my 20 hours in 3 days. And BDO 20 hours is 20 hours no matter how I split it. So for me, BDO respects my time more than Lost Ark. Still love both though. Correction, forgot about the catch-up mechanics, so it's not as bad, but I still prefer to not be capped.
How about maybe this is an unpopular opinion. Most, if not all, MMOs both do and don't respect your time equally, because the amount of time you put in decides how fast you progress.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The mobile game AFK Arena respects your time really well.
Is that your sponsor?
Yeah, that's my sponsor to this particular podcast week. AFK Arena.
Frosty is sponsored by NordVPN, or Nayashe sponsored by AFK Arena. Like, listen, man, I think that's the unique thing about MMOs is that, like, it's not, I don't know, the amount of time you put into it is directly proportional to how far you progress, right? I make no bones about the fact that I'm a gearlet. In fact, I wear it proudly. But the reason I'm a gearlet is because I don't spend a lot of time in this game. I mean, it's just that simple. And people can, I meme about like Aswell and Blackstar and things of that nature. But the fact is, I don't play this game that much as far as ways that can progress me, which is a big part of why I want PvP rewards to be a thing. So I'm not gonna then complain that like either it doesn't respect my time because I can't get away with only doing Node Wars, or like, I don't know. It's weird. It's like if I really want to progress, then I need to put more time into it, not just like the 1 hour like every other day maybe that I do currently.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird thing. I don't know why people are like so blind.
Inherently, MMOs just don't really respect your time, but that's all right. If you're having fun, it's fine.
If you want to progress, they really don't. If you want to progress like at a steady rate that is pretty equal with everybody else who's playing, they really don't. They really don't respect your time. But you have the option of not playing a bunch. You just have to be okay with not progressing as much. And it's just kind of how it goes. It's weird that anyone would think otherwise, that they have a unicorn, be it like BDO or Lost Ark. Like, your game's not a unicorn, man. It's still just an MMO. It's the same as every other one.
Yeah, but our game has a unicorn and a water one at that. Awakened Mystic Main says 50% of their revenue and waiting God knows how many months for a region and helm current balance is based on. PA is currently just milking BDO into the ground, whereas the reinvestment... Or where is the reinvestment of said revenue? The balance and content drought of BDO is he spelled it draft too, but he meant drought. He actually, finally, someone meant to say draft and they spelled it, or he meant to say drought and spelled it draft, even though all these people always say drought when they're reading the word draft. How sad. The balance and content drought of BDO is a joke. Glad the game is slowly dying. So that's just toxic.
Yikes. That is toxic.
Seriously says, Frosty, according to the bottom right of your screen, you have an update on your computer. You're welcome. Thanks, man. Windows doesn't remind me multiple times a day. Daz says, Lamau PA is so bad at keeping their deadlines, they can't even get a reveal countdown right. This shit belongs in the monthly Python sketch. TriConnect says, why am I not 700 gear score right now for free? Give me 700 gear score without any work whatsoever. That is exactly what I said. Dash Rezlar 149.49.
That is a direct quote.
Original HD says, man, I miss Shadow Arena. If they would bring it back, I would install BDO again. Do you have Shadow Arena standalone game installed original? It's like,
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Probably so many people would come back to BDO if they re-put Shadow Arena in its original form back in the game.
I mean,
That
it
shit
was
was
fun,
fun.
but after what happened, I doubt it. People would just be like, nah, the reputation of it's gone.
I disagree. I disagree wholeheartedly. The entire problem with like hackers and stuff would be gone because that was only because you could get the game for free and shit.
I think that
I mean, it wouldn't be gone, but it wouldn't be as bad, I should say.
I think
Like
people
players that are currently playing would play. It's just I don't think newer player or like veteran players that quit the game already that did like Shadow Arena would come back specifically for that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think people would definitely play it and be excited about its return. I mean, they could even just make it like a seasonal thing, like they do it every once in a while as like an event.
Yeah.
But I don't know if players would return just to play Shadow Arena. I don't know. Maybe. Corin Noeka says, just make an equalized gear set that everyone has access to, or just make it so that as soon as someone enters, they have the same AP, DP, evasion, DR, etc. as any other player. Feel like that would just be easier than trying to cap everyone's current gear and have it hate certain players out just because they don't have the gear for fun content. Also, remove like a lot of the protections in the game and resist. PvP isn't fun when it's SA trading and resisting combos, as well as allow for more classes to have higher, better skill expression. I hate how all the newer classes can't mouse move shit, or just all SA nuking skills. Hopefully Dragonite Mommy doesn't have that Lamau.
I mean, I've been informed that mouse moving your skills is awful for game balance and is the sole reason why Berserker is so strong right now.
I also don't understand. Do we forget Hash? I feel like people forget Awaken Hash. Like there's stuff you can mouse move on it. It has like a lot of skill expression, and it's like one of the newer classes. I don't know. This notion that like
Terrible class.
I guess Striker, like these older classes like Striker and Suck Mystic have just really sick skill expression and are not very protected and have a lot of gaps. I don't know. Guess just the new classes.
For reference, I don't know. I told you guys about it, but I don't know if anybody watching may have seen. I got into a big argument with a bunch of Redditors on a post about Suckzerker because everyone was complaining that mouse movement needs to be removed from the game, and these people were insisting that mouse movement is the reason that Suck Berserker is so strong, which is the most idiotic take I think I have ever heard in my entire life. And so literally all I said was, yes, Suckzerker needs to be nerfed, and it's not mouse movement that makes it strong. And people were very upset with me.
What about this take,
Redditors, man,
Rezlar?
crazy.
What about this take? Where does this rank? Quote, if resists get removed, then grabs should be removed as well.
Where? What? 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 Why is that even an equation that someone is drawing? That's so strange.
Yeah, well,
Where's the through line on that? I'm
Where did
curious.
that come from?
we don't talk about it. It reminds with
I'm not
rhymes-
even looking. I'm not even
Yeah?
looking, and I almost guarantee it came from Musassin.
Oh,
It either came
no.
from Musassin.
Oh no.
Was it Musassin?
Oh, it might. It's some. I'm not gonna say the name,
no.
but it's someone that rhymes with Boobassin.
Oh,
I'm not gonna call him out though. All right. Anon says, "Let's play something else, guys." Rezlar chooses. All right. What do you want to play, Rez?
What game do I want to play?
Yeah. What else should we play?
Well, that's gonna be awkward when he quits that game. We're still playing it.
We're moving on to Paladins full time.
No, we should do like Valheim or something. That could be fun.
I'm not playing Valheim.
Why not? It's a fun
does-
game.
Game doesn't respect your time. That's my new thing now in everything. Game just doesn't respect my fucking time. Fuck that game. I'll play The Forest. That game respects your time. You could beat the whole thing in like 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're not building a base and stuff in there?
You could, or you could just go beat the game.
Sag.
The Forest 2, man. When's that coming out? All right, Sui, this is my favorite comment of the week. Sui says, I wrote a long comment. Somehow it didn't get posted. Now I can't be asked. Anyway, Nayashe is a sketchy individual.
Sketchy individual.
It's so true, though. I can't argue with it.
I don't know what
Why
that
am I
means
sketchy?
exactly, but
I don't know.
When was that posted?
Dude, all I know is that this whole week,
What time was it posted?
when I'm not babysitting Rezlar and Nayashe, they are getting into it. I played a little bit too much Lost Ark this week. Nayashe's got blader drama. Rezlar's fighting with people about mouse movement. Like, I got to keep my kids in line. They're getting out of hand.
What date and time was that posted? Just tell
This
me
was
the date.
posted
and
an
time.
hour ago by Sui.
Oh, how convenient.
Look,
That's
man,
funny.
he's not wrong. You're a little bit on the sketch side.
On the
true,
sketch
very
side.
true, very true.
Maybe that
I
should be
listen.
directed elsewhere towards other
I'm just
individuals who are pretty sketch.
I'm just saying, Nayashe, if you asked me for a loan of $5, I don't know if I could trust you with it. I'm just saying.
You know that ain't true.
And it's nothing personal, it's just cause you're a Floridian.
You know that ain't true. Us Floridians are very, very generous givers.
Yeah, of COVID. All right,
We are the
let's
givers
move on.
of freedom.
Oh boy.
All right, let's. That's it. That's our show, Rez.
I did want really quickly. What?
Mhm.
So before we leave,
Yeah.
I don't know if we're allowed to talk about this, but
Okay.
what is up with this drama between you and Neptunez, Nayashe? What's going on there? What's happening? Because I watched the video and I'm very confused. What is going on?
Can I say? Can I give the teal
Yeah.
the summary?
Give me your take.
You want to give your point of view from what you've seen so far?
Okay, so I watched a lot of Neptune's stream to get the drama. I watched Nayashe's video. I heard, I read some of what Nayashe typed, read some of what Neptune's typed. My conclusion, they're Maehwas, man. It's all Maehwas. It's just a Maehwa thing. It's just Maehwas be Maehwas, and there's just no getting around it, man.
Maehwas be
Ugh.
Maehwas.
Maehwas be Maehwas.
That's probably
There's
true.
a few bladers mixed into the middle of the drama too. We won't name names, but yeah, it's mostly
Does it rhyme with Bakey Shay?
if they have look, it's often users too. If you've used often at some point in your life, if you have used often and defended often at some point in your life, this drama just happens, man. It just happens. Hey, what's up, Barry?
You know what? I may be a former Black Star connoisseur, but at least I have never argued that often is a viable main hand. I'm very proud to say that.
Look, this won't rattle the beehive at all. It all comes down to a bunch of Maehwas not accepting that Barry was the greatest and no one will ever live up. Period.
Told him that. I told them that.
That's all it
they
is.
don't fucking understand. They idolize some interesting individuals and they can't understand that opinion. But that's not even the main issue.
But okay, but like, serious question, Nayashe. I'm gonna
Go
come.
ahead,
I'm gonna come to the defense of Neptunes because all I know about this drama is what I've seen in your video. So I don't know if there's more context to this or not. But from what I saw in that video that you made, all that Neptunes said was that Nayashe was really, really good, but I think there's better Maehwas now. He didn't even say, at least in that video that you made, he didn't say like, oh, dude, I'm way better than Nayashe. He didn't say that. So I'm confused as to why there's drama here.
Dun,
Did he
dun,
say that somewhere
dun.
else?
There's more to it because you're not seeing the other aspects.
So why
of it,
wouldn't
the
you
clips and
put that
whatnot.
in your video, man?
Yeah, put that in the video then, Nayashe.
It's very
It was
confusing.
good enough.
Why are
It was
you
good enough.
making a video about tea and then not including the tea?
It was good enough. It did
Oh
what it
my-
needed to do.
I think there's some
I-
fake news going on around
Re-
here.
Rez,
I don't know.
I had the same question when I saw. I was like, "Wait, I'm so confused. I don't. What's the meanest thing he said here? Is that Nayashe's really good? There's better Maehwa's doubt. I missed. I was like,
Well, he did kind of imply that like Nayashe is like washed up, right? Which is
Oh.
like kind of rude, but it's not like he said like, "Oh, dude, Nayashe like sucks now, and like I'm way better, and everyone should like listen to me for Maehwa stuff."
The main thing here is he just for some reason has this obsessive need to throw around that he's quote unquote beaten me in some sort of 10v10 set of his, which he is awkwardly linking some fight set that we had when I was doing the Value Pack podcast with them or with you guys, and obviously clearly not paying attention. I have life skill buffs on and everything. It's just, and he took it as some serious thing.
you weren't paying attention to both the fight or the podcast that day. Is my guess.
Basically,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
What happened. That's what happened that day. Yeah, it's it's difficult not to pay attention to like everything around you. It's actually a really difficult.
It's
task.
actually quite an impressive skill.
Yeah, but no, I mean, like him just saying that kind of stuff, and like he's done it a few different times. Just for some reason, I don't understand. He just has my name in his mouth for some fucking reason. I don't understand it. And then he makes that comment, and in the video you see the particular Discord message between us, and it's like he and other players that I had look at this too. They took it the same way. It's basically it looks like he's trying to soften the blow or like explain the scenario for why he said what he said. Like basically saying in that clip he said, "I'm not a good Maehwa." He's like he looks at Vayne and Shockwhite as good Maehwas and whatnot, which is fine. He's entitled to his opinion. I told him that much, but then he awkwardly comes in here in some cringy way to try to like soften what he said preemptively because he is thinking that Shaky's gonna, because Shaky I guess made the clip or whatever, and he thought Shaky was going to send it to me to start some beef between us, but I never got anything from Shaky. He never even mentioned it to me, so I didn't even fucking have any clue about what the hell this was, and it was just weird. The whole thing was weird, and then we got to talking about it, and I was like, okay, but like. You're saying I'm bad at Maehwa. That's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But like those players that you mentioned, they don't beat me. They never beat me when they were playing. So and I made a point to say like these players, I've actually taught them a lot of things that they use and know. And I even pointed out in an example screenshot showing Vayne even admitting that himself without me even suggesting it. He said it. So it was just kind of like a point proven, like, like I understand you respect those individuals and that's fine. You're entitled to that opinion, but don't be coming around and saying you're like beating me in some fucking like PvP situation that never actually transpired. And that's all that was me just showing that he came over.
Still got it.
Well, yeah, I still got it, even though I'm 7 months rusty.
Okay,
and
no, I'm calling you out on that. You are not
wait,
7
how are you
months
gonna call
rusty.
me out on that?
Because you're not 7 months rusty, because you literally keep coming back to the game and playing a little bit here and there. You have not played the game for 7 full months. That is not true.
Really? So back in September, when I quit to go play New World...
The reworks came out in December. You played the shit out of the reworks when they came out.
I didn't play all that much with the reworks.
Yes, you did. You're such a liar. Nayashe, come on.
I played for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and then I took another 3-week break before Lost Ark started.
So there you go. 2 weeks. Lost Ark came out in... When did Lost Ark come out? October? The very last week of September. Even if you didn't touch the game the day Lost Ark came out, or not Lost Ark, New World came out, until today, even that's not 7 months. That's still only like 6 months and a week.
September,
but between that time, you still
November,
played.
December, January, February, March.
6. No, September is not. It came out like the 29th. You're counting the one day of September as a whole month? Come on, man.
No, I didn't play at the beginning of September, dude. I didn't play at all at the beginning of September. I was playing League the whole fucking time.
But you played.
How are you
going to
sit here and tell me my time frame?
Because I played with you.
Come on, you did not play with me.
Yes, we did. You and I were literally in Battle Arena fucking testing shit out and dueling and stuff with the reworks. We 100% were.
Yeah, in October I was going into the battle arena to
The
check it out,
reworks
but I
weren't
wasn't
out yet, man. They came out in December.
or whatever, October, December. They were announced in October, and they were starting to release them. So I was checking it out, but I wasn't actually playing the game. When you go in there and you look at when I actually played, I played for a few hours here and there in Battle Arena just to test out some stuff and get a feel for it, and that was it.
You were grinding.
That was it.
You were telling me about your grind progress. You'd link me your gear upgrades. You'd link me your trash per hour at places.
Because I was looking at what progress I needed to make in order to,
Yeah, well, you
make use of it, but I didn't
were linking us like grind
Dude,
hours and
I'm
shit.
still doing my dailies for my fucking ring.
All right, all I'm
I
saying
haven't-
is
I haven't done anything.
it's a little bit disingenuous to say you haven't played so
It's not
much. That's all I'm saying.
disingenuous at all.
But you played. All right, look, here's the thing.
Logging in for 2 hours, you consider playing.
Rez, yes. Rez, also,
Oh my God.
outside of this, from an outside perspective, my conclusion is that this is for both Neptunes, Nayashe, and whatever bladers are involved. Maehwas do not respect our time. Not at all.
Wait, no, you brought this up. You don't respect your own time because you wanted this explanation.
Rezlar brought this up.
I brought this
Oh,
up.
see, it's Rezlar. Rezlar doesn't respect.
Rezlar doesn't
Zerkers
respect our time.
absolutely do not respect your time. Are you kidding me? Is that even a question? All right.
Anyways, the point
Hey.
is, anyone that's actually listened to any of his stream and whatnot, he always flaunts around like he's acting like he's the best and whatnot, and that's fine. He's able to do that. I'm not gonna deny him that ability to do that. However, he came to me yesterday in Battle Arena. I did not seek him out. His guildie contacted me because he saw me at Karana. He didn't know I was playing again, so we had a little conversation and whatnot. He wanted to do a best of 10. So I'm like, okay. So we went in the Battle Arena yesterday. We did a best of 10, me and the guildie. Me and his guildie. I didn't even know he was in that guild for that matter. And then we do another set, and that was all fine. But then he shows up randomly out of the blue, and I know what he's trying to do.
Rez, look at Discord chat.
I see.
That is kind of
So-
funny when you point that out. Look, I think at the end of the
Listen,
day, the drama's actually kind of fun.
He made a guide after rework, really? Yeah. Want to know how much actual time I spent into playing the game in order to actually make that guide? Not that much.
So
It was
it's not a
all
good
Global
guide.
Labs.
Wait. Are you saying that playing Global Labs is not playing the game?
I didn't put that much time into. What are you trying to? Oh my god!
All right,
you guys are making it sound like I've been playing for fucking months.
No,
and
it's not
sort-
that. It's just that you
No,
played,
it is.
you
It is.
played a
It
little
is
bit.
exactly what you're
The problem. No.
You guys are full of shit. You guys are full of shit.
Nayashe, the thing
You guys
that
are full of
Frosty's
shit.
pointing out
You
is
guys are
that
full
you
of shit.
saying I haven't played the game in 7 months is a statement indicating that you have not logged in 7 months.
PvPing and
he's saying
doing
that's not
everything
true.
that I would typically do. Yeah, I told you. I even said at the beginning of this conversation that I did play for a few weeks during the reworks and while I was making the
then
guide.
the sentence should be: I haven't really been a full-time player for about.
Oh
7
my
months.
god! Holy crap!
But no, but you're
6
using
months,
it as a point
3
to
days,
boost your
and
win.
16 hours, Frosty.
You're using it as a way to
Come
boost, like, oh, I farmed you, and I don't even play this game anymore. I haven't touched my class. That you're using that to boost your argument, but you have played. I dueled you. So if
Yeah,
I'm
in
dueling you in
Global Labs.
January,
When did we
if I'm
duel in-
dueling you in
Listen,
January and
listen,
When
December,
does he actually
Listen.
interact in the game? In the actual game,
you
not
and
Global
I,
Labs.
yes,
in the actual
you and I went to Battle Arena and dueled after the reworks multiple times, Nayashe, multiple times. That's all I'm saying. If you're gonna use it to like shit on somebody, I'm just saying in 7 months isn't
So
quite fair.
what do you want to be said then?
I just
That
don't
would
even
make
think it should be said.
That would make
I-
politically correct.
I'm
for
not
Frosty.
a fan of being
and
like,
Rezlar.
oh, I don't even play this game and you still got farmed, unless like you actually like, oh, I got to reinstall the game. It's been uninstalled. Then maybe I could see like using that. But otherwise, it's just like, I don't know, bladers, you know?
All right, listen,
Really?
here's
So
my.
I want to hear exactly what you would prefer me to say.
I
in
would
that
prefer
scenario.
you to not even mention the time because in my opinion, I think it sounds.
Is it not
Or you
relevant?
can, or you
Is it
can
not
say,
relevant
to
or-
someone that's
or-
trying-
No.
Nayashe,
Someone
Nayashe,
that's
Nayashe.
trying.
You
Okay,
could say,
whatever.
why not say like I've been playing off and on for months. Like that's way more of an accurate statement than I haven't played. Like again, that implies like 0 game time, right? It's just like I don't know, exaggeration. But when you're exaggerating to try and like shit on somebody, it kind of looks a little bad. Is all we're saying.
I've heard it before. I'm not going to call names.
And this is mine. It is what it is.
All right, that's fine. It doesn't
right,
matter. It's
fine.
neither here nor there. I was trying to call you out as a joke. It wasn't that serious, but whatever.
All right, listen.
Yeah.
I will say
I mean,
though,
if you're gonna say that, you got to give me an example that seems quote unquote justifiable by Frosty's standards.
Yeah, my standards would be you don't say it at all because it's kind of cringy.
Yeah,
my standard would be off and on.
Said earlier.
No, I'm not. Hey, I'm not absolving. I'm
cringy.
100%. I'm not absolving that. He definitely said some crazy.
You know
shit.
what? The whole point, humble little dude, so that he understands he needs to just not fucking use my name, and when trying to suggest things that aren't true, and that's it. That's it. That's all it was.
All my only input on this is it feels like there is more context to this than what you provided in that video, and you should really provide that next time. Because, like, to me,
I didn't
as
feel it was
someone
necessary. So
to me, as someone
why I
who
didn't.
doesn't know anything about this drama, I don't watch Neptune's stream. No offense, I don't watch a lot of streams. Like, it looked to me like he just said, like, yeah, Nayashe used to be better, and then you went and clapped him in arena and made a video about it, and I was like, wait, what? Why? And if there's more context to it, like, that's fine. But like that, I did not know that context, and that wasn't included. And
that's fine.
It looks
You're not,
really
you're
weird
not the only
from
one
my
that.
point of view.
But at the end of the day, it's a low effort meme video. That's really all it was. It's
Fair.
it literally doesn't have any more meaning beyond what it was, and that's it. Like, it's just for fun.
So, did you guys do a first to 10 to solve it?
He came to me and we did the set. I posted the VOD for it, but
What was
it's up
the
to him
score?
if he wants to do more.
What was the score?
I don't know. It was like 8-6 or 9-6 or something like that. I can't even remember specifically. He left after that because he only wanted to do another 3 rather than a full set of 10.
I did a first to 10 with Rezlar and clapped him.
That's true. I won 3 times, I think.
That was too many, in my opinion.
was
But now
many.
I have Pinnergon. He also got very mad at me because I fucked with him on the last one.
Frosty, that's kind of rough since he just recently finished his Ergon. So
Yeah, fight me now that I'm a big boy, Frosty. Now I'm gonna take 4 matches.
Wait, because of why?
Pinnergons.
Oh,
Also, maybe if you weren't playing some busted ass class like Sakuno, I don't know, maybe it'd be more fair. Just saying.
that's true.
All right,
We
listen.
should do a mirror matchup.
That is true. We should do a mirror matchup on a class that neither
Have
of
you
us
ever
know how to
played
play,
a,
like Shy.
have you ever played a Zerker, Frosty?
I made one on Global Labs and played it. Tiny bit, but that was it. No, that class, it has like it needs its back cracked or something. I don't know what's going on with that class. I can't stand its posture. Anyway,
All right.
I was trying not to talk about the whole thing, but it is kind of funny.
No,
And
I wanted it.
it's sort of like at the heart of BDO for a long time. Like, that kind of drama has always been somewhat entertaining, even if a little bit cheesy. I think it's funny. It's fun.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Ultimately, like, you could argue it was good for a stream anyways, because a lot of players, even if some are haters or whatever, go into a stream and got them a lot of activity. So
Dude,
No, listen, drama's fun.
it's overall the community has been in dire need of some entertainment. So
there's not
Drama's fun as long as it stays in game.
there's not a whole.
I mean, I'm not planning on taking any further or anything like that. It was just mostly for shits and giggles and being Mimi and mostly just to kind of get the point across. Just fucking chill, humble yourself, and that's it. Like, if he wants to do more fights, I have no problem with him at all. But that's all the video was intended for, is just to chill out, fucking seriously.
There are not a lot of Maehwas left. You guys should join forces. You know what I mean?
Yeah, really.
No, originally
Alright.
I got on his Discord with him and talked with him about a couple different occasions where we're talking about balance changes that the class needs prior to the rework and whatnot. So I've talked with the dude in the past, but I don't know what he feels this need to like prop himself up, and that's fine. Just don't fucking try to talk trash about other players if you're gonna do that. Just earn it.
All
Like,
right,
people
let's get
don't
outta
know
here.
me.
That's enough of
People
that.
don't know me because I'm the best or anything like that. That's because that's not the case.
The
It's just
TLDR
people know me because I actually went through and I put myself in the community. I
in
dueled shitloads of people and fucking got my name out there. That's how I did it.
in conclusion, That is why I don't play Maehwa.
In conclusion, this has not been a discussion that respects our time. Let's get the fuck out of here.
All right, let's close this out.
This was a
right?
Rezlar decision, though. This was a Rezlar
This is
decision.
all Rezlar right here.
Thanks everybody so much for listening. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Make sure to check out our streams. It's all linked down below. Twitch.tv/SoFrosty, Twitch.tv/Nayashe_NA, and Twitch.tv/NotRezlar. Thanks again to the patrons for supporting the show, and we'll see everyone next week.